again, because I do appreciate the chats. I really do. I really do. A lot of them are good. Half of them are not. NT case, guys. Welcome into the show. I am a progressive. Ask me questions. This is episode 5. The show runs with the purpose of creating an open space for people on all sides, or all, I guess sides wouldn't be accurate, in all sections, portions, areas of the political spectrum. There we go. To ask questions about whatever you have. What's going on, Erica? Ask questions about whatever you may have some curiosity on. Whether it is the current political landscape, things that are happening, say, in Virginia, what's taking place with Pam Bondi and the Trump administration, what is Democrats' plan moving forward? Better yet, I can't answer a lot of those questions. What should be the plan moving forward? What I think is the plan moving forward? Or any personal questions you may have about my stances and opinions. This live is a platform for you to come up and ask me, and I will answer it to the best of my ability. To the best of my ability. So, if you have a question, you may request up in the box. Or you may call in the number on screen, those of you over on the YouTube side. You got cooked by Matt last night. I love it when you guys say that. I love for you to tell me how I got cooked. You can do that. There you go. You're going to deny that invite because that's what you Trump supporters do, since you're a bunch of betas. But I would love for you to tell me how I got cooked. Very curious. NT cases. What's going on, Expo? What's going on? What do you think about the Republican judge trying to go after redistricting? Expected. It was expected. We knew it was going to come. Most of the redistricting efforts that have passed always are met with legal challenges from the opposing side. The argument is if they have the legal grounds to fight against it. So the lower court can block it. If it goes to the Supreme Court, that's where I'm going to be more so interested in what the reasoning is going to be, because Supreme Court held up Texas. So I don't know how they can then look in Virginia and say it's not going to work. I'm very curious to see how they argument. But we're not there yet. We're just dealing with a lower court issue. We're not there yet. We don't know what's going to happen. Just leave it. As you should, Expo. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We have no idea what's going to happen. So I don't really comment too much on it. We'll see. For all we know, the Republican judge could have a basis. I was reading up some of the arguments that he was making. He was saying that it contradicted a previous bill that they passed in regards to how that would work. But then if we look in the state of Texas, we weren't up for a redistricting vote as well. And then they just ushered one in just because. So I don't know how a lot of those things are going to hold up. But I think you guys have a decent chance of looking forward to a more blue Virginia. So W's Virginia, because it's pretty purple. Progs, I guess you meant progressive, have an ideology of self-deleting empathy. Yeah, I would love for you to explain that one. What is self-deleting empathy? Doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make an ounce of sense. Wizard, not quite the first over on the YouTube side, but first to comment for sure. Thank you guys for knocking out the 1 cent gift goals. I guess that's going to that Charlie Kirk territory of radical empathy or whatever the fuck he used to say. Used to say is funny to me. Whatever the fuck he used to say, radical empathy. A lot of these people can't even tell the difference between sympathy and empathy, to be fair. Chuckles McNuck? No, I call him Gumby Kirk. Boss, I know exactly what he was meaning. It doesn't make any sense, though. Nice try in explaining as if I didn't know what he meant. It just doesn't make any sense. That's what I clearly meant there. Clearly. Continue to double tap the screen, guys. Knock out the 1 cent gift goals. Is that a more hysterical way to say toxic empathy? I guess. Listen, I don't know how these people work. Okay? Even when I was MAGA, it was a very different classification of MAGA I was in. Okay? We cared about very different things. There's certain arguments I wouldn't make, or at least not out in public. Thank you, Blue Canary, for knocking that out.
God bless you.
I don't know how to speak on behalf of some of these people and their how their brains work. I really don't. I can peer into it. I can somewhat make sense of how, not make sense of, I can understand how they got to their conclusions. But if we like compare it up to objective reality, if we compare it up to empirical data, that's typically where I fall off. I don't know. I don't know how to substantiate some of their positions. I really don't. I really don't. Hi, Amanda. What's going on? What's going on, Mighty Pen? I actually may need to get some more mods on the YouTube side for the earlier streams. I'll talk to you guys about that in a bit. But now the MAGA that voted for Trump over Hillary are the centrists today.
God bless you.
Okay. There could be some truth to that. Because those are some of the same people who will then cite what happened to Bernie Sanders. Thank you guys for the gifts. Thank you so much. Those are the same people who will then talk about, I can't vote for Democrats because of what they did for to Bernie Sanders. So that's true. The Bernie to Trump pipeline is so real. And to me, it doesn't make any sense, because you would be completely disregarding where Bernie stands on social issues. Like, you'd be drastically changing what his positions are on social issues and how he is just ideologically opposed to Trump. They're two different people. Just because they may share some sentiments, it doesn't track. So I always find it funny when people say things like, oh, I voted for Bernie Sanders and I love Bernie Sanders, but I voted for Trump. Then you only liked what Bernie Sanders represented to you versus what he actually stood for, which is a huge issue in politics. There's a lot of people, and I'm going to give some Trump supporters credit here. There's a lot of people who voted for Donald Trump, and they didn't necessarily vote for him based off of who he was or what he actually represented and his plans that he was going to implement in the country. There's a lot of people who voted for him solely based off of vibes, based off of what they made him out to be in their head, what they thought he was going to do, what they wanted him to do, versus what he actually said. It's kind of like, it's going to be fucked up. It's the closest example I can give, and then we'll get to Expo here. It's kind of like those people, how do I want to say this? Have you ever dated someone or going on dates with someone, and that person, versus paying attention to what they were saying and who you were, what you were saying, they were more so creating a version of you in their head, right? They were creating a version of you in your head and like more so like getting down with that person and falling in love with that person versus actually paying attention to what you were saying. And that's typically common in like dynamics where you may have a person who's like a piece of shit, but in their head, they're like this completely different person. So they stay with them. It's fucking weird. It's absolutely weird. Any case, looks like we have our first guest. Hi, Expo. What's going on? Got a question for me?
Hi, Hector. I do. Now, I'm gonna assume you said it mostly jokingly, but did you say that at one point you did vote for Donald Trump?
No, I was MAGA. But yeah,
Oh.
but I never voted. Is this news to you?
Ah. No, it's not, but I wanted to differentiate. I know you said that you were MAGA, and that's not news, but I was
No.
wondering if you actually voted.
Mm-mm.
Because something a lot of people don't know about good old Ren the Expo is I voted for Trump the first go round.
2016?
And
2016?
yeah,
Interesting.
isn't that interesting? But I wasn't MAGA. I was a deconstructing Christian who was still under the mind power of my conservative family.
Now I have
Yeah.
questions for you. So
Oh boy.
is
Let's just say a complete 180.
yeah, very much so. So would you say the basis, the predominant factor in you voting for Trump in 2016 was essentially your family and their faith?
Yes, and I at the time I still had my faith. Well, as you well know, I still have my faith. But it's a little nuanced. I was being very overly attached to my father because my mother had just passed.
Mm.
So anything that he said went. I used to hold that mindset of, oh, he's a different kind of a politician and da da. That's why what a lot of these people say, the naive things that they say, I kind of let it go, because somebody can be young and stupid and make one heck of a decision. Like I said, I literally stood at that voting booth arguing with myself. I think I stood in that voting booth for 45 minutes,
Yeah.
knowing that I should not do it. but I did
So
it.
even in the voting booth, you were conflicted about doing it.
Oh, I hated it. And then less than 2 years later, you saw me on the front lines of everything because I regretted that. I can honestly say I am. Let's see, I'm 33 years old. Lived a decent bit of life, and I can say that that's probably the second biggest thing that I regret
Okay.
is letting my naivete lead the way.
I mean, but I would say compared to the entirety of his political career, you quickly kind of turned back on that. So, what would you say was to be the difference between someone like you, who were able to see the light within 2 years, or at the very least, actually, you basically almost regretted it in the voting booth? What would you say is the difference between you there and then the people now who are still supporting him full throatedly in 2026?
Open mindedness, change, deconstruction, willing to listen, willing to sit my happy ass down and listen to what other people had to say, keep my mouth shut in circumstances where I didn't know anything. That's the biggest thing. People like to open their mouth when they know nothing about it.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the
Oh
truth?
my goodness. Humility will get you far, folks. Sit down, shut up, listen if you don't know, ask questions at the appropriate times, and then do your own research based upon what you've been given. Because what Hector has to say is not the be all end all. What Dean Withers has to say is not the be all end all. What Santana has to say is not the be all end all. Heck, what your favorite politician has to say is not the be all end all.
Especially your damn
You need to be
politicians.
willing. Yeah, that part. You need to be willing to also do your own research.
6,000%. Expo, I appreciate you coming up. I'm going to go ahead and drop you down. But yeah, you enjoy the rest of your night and drive safe.
I am gonna be around. Tap the screen, everybody. Tap the screen. Tap the
Tap the
screen, or I'm
screen.
gonna waggle myself at you in shame.
That's funny because I said 6,000%. The likes literally was just at 6,000 exactly. All right, tap the screen, get the likes up to 25K and beyond. Show the algorithm when to be here. If you have a question for me, whether you're a liberal, Democrat, conservative, Republican, anarchist, Marxist, whatever the fuck. If you have a question for me specifically about anything in regards to politics or my stances, you may request up in the box. You are the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. And if you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. Someone did call, of course, and then the number did not work. Let me reconfigure this over here. And it should be good to go now, although it's an unknown number. And chances are 85% of the time an unknown number calls is just some white boy troll who wants to say some bullshit. So I don't really care about missing that call. I want to go back to something Expo said specifically about the humility portion, knowing when to be like humble and knowing your place essentially. I always say it here. I am not the expert on every single issue. There are things that I'm very familiar about, and there's other things to where I kind of do my best. But I try to line up everything I say and believe with information, with things I can prove, things I can pull up. And so many people are quick to say stuff without even verifying it or that they heard. Caller, you're on the line. Got a question for me?
Hey, man. Yeah, I was actually the guy who called. Your number's working. It just dropped for some reason. I think it was a connection issue on my end. So.
Gotcha. I didn't hear the ring, so that's it was a weird thing on my end.
Yeah. I was just actually curious to ask kind of what you would generally classify yourself as, just because it sounds like I haven't seen your stuff much, but it sounds like you tend to be more left-leaning, but you said you were MAGA before?
Yes.
I just thought it was interesting.
Yes, I was MAGA. Now I'm pretty left. I wouldn't say that I am communist Marxist left. Absolutely not. But I'm progressive left.
Gotcha. What kind of seems like a big swing? Was it like a total change in your ideals, you would say, or is it just that? I've noticed Trump seems to be an interesting character were mentioning before the Bernie to Trump pipeline, where I think he was played as a very anti-establishment, going to tear everything down type of guy. So you just got a lot of disparate groups coming to him.
That is correct. For me, when I was MAGA, it was heavily based off of not so much political information or direct political information from sources, but more so from a lot of right-wing media. So I followed a lot of different like content creators and podcasters. So where a lot of what I believed was framed through their lens, and there wasn't always the right amount of context. And actually, a large portion of what started to break me away from that is when the biggest content creator that I watched religiously, his videos every single day, his lives, just about every single one, started to pick up on some things and then call out Donald Trump more and criticize it. And then from there, alongside the events of the summer of 2020 with George Floyd, the pandemic, and especially January 6th, I just decided to do a bit more digging into politics versus just people's positions and opinions and getting it from their lens, because obviously that could be extremely biased. And just started to realize how many of the things that I believed were wrong or straight up inconsequential. I ultimately only give a fuck about my wallet. I give a fuck about my wallet. I give a fuck about civil rights. I care about our tax dollars, because taxation is not going anywhere. Our tax dollars going towards things that benefit the majority of Americans, which is why I'm a little bit stricter on things in regards to having more accountability in tax czars. I think there's a lot of ideas that Donald Trump presented in and of itself that was good in name only, such as
like
Doge.
His like economic libertarianism, I guess, would be a way to put it. What attracted you in some way?
I would say
like
more libertarian socially versus, I guess, economically, because I am more for heavy restrictions on capitalism for sure. But
right, I mean more like on the market side, like you know, like you were talking about Doge kind of breaking away from the mainstream centralized banking system and stuff like that to some degree.
No, when I was referencing Joe's, I was talking about Elon Musk's agency.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
I see.
Waste, fraud, and abuse. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I just found it very interesting, kind of your background, because I come from the totally opposite side, and I dislike Trump for different reasons. But I don't know. I find it interesting to hear kind of the different perspectives on him, because really, you know, love him or hate him, there's no denying that he's probably been one of the most I mean, he's been one of the biggest political pundits in recent history that's kind of shaken things up and just changed things radically. I would say more so than any other president in recent memory, in my mind.
I mean, you're not necessarily wrong. The question we have to ask is how much of that was good, and the means that we got there. But I mean, let me be clear, and this is what I think appeals to a lot of people who aren't so much in the know about things. I do think we need a shakeup. So I think those aspects of his appeal are true and valid. I just don't believe Donald Trump was the man to do it. In fact, I would argue that he ran off of those shakeups ultimately to not only benefit himself, but to enrich himself and his friends. I think that would be the argument that I would make, is that there's some things he may have sure brought to the light, especially for the average person who wasn't that tuned into politics, but he hasn't necessarily fixed anything.
Right. I would agree somewhat. In my opinion, kind of the thing that brought me to Trump was that similar idea of, you know, he's this new guy. He's not an establishment guy. You know, all of his claims, drain the swamp, do all these things, get rid of all the career politicians and you know the political muck that we have. But the thing that kind of tore me away was essentially just realizing it was all bullshit, and he's just one of them. You know, especially seeing him recently with all the Epstein stuff, just wrecking the economy. I believe it's our commerce secretary. I don't know if you followed that at all with the tariff refunds and how his sons pretty much bought up all the rights to that, and they're going to make a shit ton of money on something that he knew wasn't going to fly in the first place.
Yeah.
And then obviously all of the no more wars, and now we're throating Netanyahu's cock. That's also pretty disheartening.
Very 6,000%. Most we can do about it now, to those of us who, I guess, seen the light. We are in a midterm election year. We can at least restrict the powers of this administration until 2028 and hopefully have much better options then. But
one last thing before I go, because I don't want to take up too much time on your show.
Sure.
Just that last part. And I don't know what your thoughts are on this, because I'm of the opinion that just the entire voting system is essentially useless. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of reasons for it. Whether there's outright fraud and lying, which I think, I haven't looked too much into it. I think there's probably a case both ways. But I think just the institution itself is completely destroyed. I grew up in California, and it's no secret that essentially what the state did was they brought in tons of migrants to essentially vote how they wanted them to. It kind of started quite a while ago. I think a good example, too, is the Great New Deal, where, you bring in a bunch of migrants, you bribe them with incentives, and, you get your guys in. But what's your perspective on essentially trying to mitigate things through voting if someone assumes that the voting system just doesn't work? I mean, what recourse is there then?
I would look at every single monumental piece of legislation that's passed in our history, the way we've been able to enforce our laws with the support of Congress and certain penalizations or incentives. And I would say that's your example of all the ways that voting does work. Just because we have a very corrupt system and money is significantly influencing our political process right now with lobbyists and whatnot, doesn't mean that it doesn't still work. It's just significantly limited and not serving the American people in the way it was originally intended.
Right. But for instance, even something that's extremely popular amongst the American public, like releasing Epstein files, right? Something that you put it to vote, probably over 90% of people in a popular vote would support. Not going to happen. So, if there's something that has that much broad support and it doesn't happen, or something like, I know it's a different system, but I think honestly they're all essentially tied together and have the same issues.
Thank you, Sean.
European family and European citizenship. But, government's there. Migration is wildly unpopular. They do polls, and it's, 90% of native Europeans don't want migrants. They keep coming. It doesn't matter. So, when you have wildly popular things, people vote for them, but it doesn't change.
So the widely popular things being polled, showing amount of people that want it done, those people then need to take additional step and ensure that they're electing the right individuals who align with them to get it passed in Congress. In regards to the Epstein files, the reason why we've had anything released as little as we've gotten today is because of a discharge petition that Thomas Massey and Rokana got signed. And friendly reminder that a discharge petition only comes after previous votes were either denied or not even put to the floor. So a discharge petition forces Congress to vote on a specific issue. And that's how we got the release of it. Once it was signed by the right amount of people, which was majority Democrats, we were then able to force that vote. And by then, Republicans knew it was a losing game. So they passed it in the House and Senate unanimously. Donald Trump signed it into law. And now we're over 126 days due to where everything that's been released has been damn near the same old files with the same old redactions. Only this time around, the victims were put more at risk because their information wasn't as protected as Donald Trump's name in them itself. So if we're to have a conversation about the Epstein files and most people wanting it to be released, then we have to look at the party that is currently presiding over it and restricting said release, and that would be Republicans. I have no doubt in my mind that Democrats are also, some Democrats may be implicated in the files, but when it comes to the bodies of power that preside over it and can actually control at least getting some of the justice, that is Republicans.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate the time. I don't want to monopolize your show too much, but I appreciate hearing your perspectives. So thanks for taking the time to chat with me.
Yeah, sure. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You as well. Bye-bye.
I don't know why you guys believe that undocumented migrants are being imported to vote. I seriously want to know why you guys believe undocumented migrants are being imported to vote. Like, first off, what I find super funny about that claim is if we look at Latino men in the 2024 election specifically, they swung right. They voted for Trump. So we would be harming ourselves, Democrats, right? Democrats would be harming themselves by importing a base that this last time at least voted for Trump. They clearly won in the rhetoric game, in the media game. So can't be for us because they're voting right. And that's Latino men, not specifically women, to be fair. Women's a different number. Number two, we would be importing a bunch of people that we know we have laws already that stop them from being able to vote. But then I guess we would be encouraging them to vote some way, somehow. And then wouldn't this number be reflected in the last few elections, especially in 2024? If the peak of encounters was in 2022, wouldn't have those numbers showed up in droves to vote for Kamala Harris? I don't get it. I don't think they go all the way down the ideology, like what they believe. I don't think they end. I don't think they look at like. Anyway, if you have a question for me, no matter what side of the political spectrum that you lean on, you may request up in the box. You're the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the Tube side, you can call in the number on screen, 737-295-5321. Why does this do that? Okay, I have that fixed. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. I can't make it make sense. They can't even register to vote unless they're naturalized. Yeah. You guys heard the guy last night, which I have that live downloaded and I'm clipping it. Bro said with his full chest that him and his father saw undocumented migrants, which there's a whole nother conversation about what they deem as undocumented, which means you're a certain complexion, you're probably, or an accent, and you're probably undocumented, which is crazy. But a bunch of people went into a Social Security office. He said he saw this daily. Undocumented migrants will go into a Social Security office daily and walk out with legitimate Social Security cards. How many of you guys were here for last night's stream? You guys remember that guest? Dude said it with his full chest. Full chest. Not him, nor his daddy, or anyone else who saw it said anything. None of them said anything. But this is happening in droves. And this is the problem I have with people who say these things. It's happening in droves. It's happening everywhere. But even your own right wing, far right, Heritage Foundation could only pull up, what is it? A little over 100 cases? Or actually maybe less than that over the course of the last 40 years. So if we do 100 in the pool of... We can count the last couple elections. Let's go to 175, 77, 150 something million in 2024. Then another 150 something million in 2020. The next 100 and I think it's still 50 in 2016. You take that 100 and you throw it into that pool. That is a speck. I can't even close my fingers without touching enough to show what a speck in the pool that is. Which goes to show that the United States has one of the most secure election processes in the freaking world. Hell, I don't think any country is like suffering from undocumented migrants being able to vote en masse. That's not even something a lot of undocumented migrants are interested in. They're not coming here to vote, bro. They're coming here to get a job, work, send money back to their families, build a life here. They're coming here for the dream. They don't give a shit about voting. I don't know why they do this. I don't know why they do this. Paranoid because they will lose? Well, I mean, that's why we saw what they were doing in Texas. Yeah. The second he got in the Oval Office, they said we need to keep Texas blue. I do think that's interesting that Republicans started to see I would say they anticipated a blue wave before Donald Trump even won. They rode hard against Colin Allred, which I can't stand Colin Allred. I thought he was terrible, but I think he still should have won over Ted Cruz. And then after the fact, they said we need to gerrymander the hell out of this state to keep our power. And they won, unfortunately. SCOTUS leaned with them. And now the same conservative SCOTUS members are now holding back on several other decisions, such as birthright citizenship or even the tariffs under the IEEPA. Because even they're going, there's only so much we can help you, Trump. I don't think a lot of people, I'll say it like this. I think there's more people like regular voters that like Donald Trump than more high up officials. I would argue the higher up you go when it comes to the Republican, Trump, MAGA base, whatever, the more you'll find people that don't like him. But I think ultimately they still go along with him, especially in like the media, to the public, because they're somewhat getting more things that they wanted versus having a Democrat in office. I think that's what a lot of it is. There's a ton of people who do not like Trump. He's not a likable person. It's always funny to me when people come up and say, yeah, he's very relatable. I can't relate to a dude who just talks about grabbing women by the ussy. I can't relate to someone who didn't know he was the president of Puerto Rico. I can't relate to someone who doesn't think that magnets work underwater and that you can nuke hurricanes to stop them. I can't relate to someone who looks at a population of people and pulls out of his ass that they're eating people's pets. I can't relate to any of that. And maybe that's an intelligence issue. I don't know. I can't relate to someone who had 3 wives, cheated on all of them, and is in the Epstein files. Exactly. I don't know what you guys can relate to. I can't relate to any of that. So if you guys can relate to that, maybe I should call a certain hotline on you. How can you relate to a guy that has a gold toilet? Literally. Do I want to relate to a guy who has a gold toilet? Actually, no, I don't. Because what the fuck are you going to do with a gold toilet? That's stupid. Rich people do stupid stuff with their money, bro. And don't get me wrong. You have every right to do whatever you want with your money, right? You make it, you worked hard for it, whatever. But what is the point of having a gold toilet? Just so you can say, I got a gold toilet. And then the average person is just looking at you like, okay. Y'all, how are you going to be more proud of having a gold toilet versus a bidet? Thank you, Sam, for the gifts. How are you going to be more proud of having a gold toilet over a bidet? Get a bidet, bro. I promise you. Get a bidet. Yeah, and the majority of those people inherited their wealth. That is correct. Never forget the weather-altering Sharpie. Let me tell you something about that, Bella. Obviously, 2024 was my first election voting. So there's a lot of stuff that I was behind on that I was playing catch up on. I found out about Sharpiegate mid last year. Hear me out. Gold bidet. Stop that, Mark. I found out about Sharpiegate mid last year. Absolutely diabolical. I found out about Pizzagate a little bit before Sharpiegate, just a couple weeks before Sharpiegate. Because I don't know what it was. I just started Googling like gate scandals. That's how I found out about what happened with Nixon, Watergate. I just started Googling all the different gates. Yes, Sharpiegate, Amaris. Sharpiegate. What is Pizzagate? Bruh, y'all ain't heard about Pizzagate? Hold on. Put a 1 in the chat if you know about Pizzagate. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't. Put a 1 in the chat if you know about Pizzagate. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't.
Call from
Land of Lincoln HVAC.
To accept, press 1.
Caller, you're on the line. Got a question for me?
How's it going, man?
Is going.
It's the first time I've seen your show. I've noticed that since the last election where younger conservative guys really used the internet in a way to I guess push their cause or their ideology. That the left kind of came around and kind of jumped on that. So it's kind of interesting to see like a lot of these lives that are popping up with the call-in debate me's, and most of them, if not 90+%, at least the ones I've seen, have been really anti-Trump and kind of like antagonistic, like let's fight and argue and things of that nature. I don't really get that vibe from this one, so I figured I'd give it a call and maybe chat with you and talk. You sound pretty progressive, I would imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. However, really quickly, the internet's been around for some time. Political content creators on the left have been around for some time. I think what you're seeing in terms of the increase of us is more so the algorithm. Many of these platforms, especially because of how much broader that politics has been spread to the average person who's even tuned out since Trump. They've just been pushing stuff like this more. And yes, you can say there's an increase in regular Joes like me who aren't, I don't know, DNC shills doing my own thing here.
Yeah.
But that was bound to happen just based off the sheer amount of people that have their eyes on politics compared to previous years. But
yeah, it's kind of a weird time with the internet. It's definitely opened up my eyes. I would say I'm probably a little older than you. I've just recently, within the last 10 years, become, I would say, charged, and I used to not really give a shit, but now I'm kind of like, it really matters now that I have a family and I'm older, and I see some of the stuff that gets done and where it hurts you in the pocketbooks, and you start paying more attention, and I think that's probably not a bad thing at all. I guess my thing is like we have this like merry-go-round, and it really kind of makes me, I guess, not necessarily laugh, but the hypocrisy of some progressives, not all, but some, when it comes to this ideology of eat the rich and
one of the things I really love about these lives is that people who are quick to call me the hard R try to play it nice, like this guy right here.
There definitely is
we'll see what he has
warfare in America. It's always been that, and I've argued greatly over the last 10 years that that's been the bigger issue more than race, because I think growing up a poor white kid in a predominantly African American community, I really wasn't treated a whole lot different from police. I didn't really have a whole lot different lot in life than a lot of others. I mean, that could be argued. Some people will say differently, but I just know where I've come from and some of my family background and living in extreme poverty growing up. I mean, hell, we had food stamps. I mean, when I was a kid, you literally had the coupon. It wasn't a card. You had the paper deal. We used to play freaking dice in the bathroom at school with the little brown. I mean, I'm not proud of it, but I just kind of look at that. I just think, man, we've kind of come a long way. But I've always argued that that's been the bigger issue, man, even more than race is class warfare and the haves and have-nots. And I guess like I lean more socially Democrat. I would not say progressive because I'm definitely not progressive. I have a Christian background. I am more socially. Can't be
Christians?
No, I not what not a modern day progressive that swallows the progressive pill. No more than I think a real Christian could or a Christian could be a staunch far right conservative. I mean, I just don't think that it lines up. But that neither here nor there. I guess my bigger point being is that I'm more socially an old school Democrat, like probably a JFK, more fiscally conservative. And I kind of get lost in the far right, and I get really lost in the far left. And I'm just, I'm a guy, man, middle class, working my ass off in blue collar, trying to take care of a family and see the struggles that most Americans live with every day. And I hate the divide. I think the divide is definitely calculated. We are house divided cannot stand. It's just what it is. And the more that we bicker amongst each other, and I argue this, the more we bicker amongst each other and don't come together, the greater we as a society and we as citizens just seem to keep getting shit on by both parties. And I don't think either party has has the championship belt on shitting on Americans. I think that it's pretty equal, and I think for anyone to say otherwise is pretty disingenuous.
I think saying that the divide is orchestrated is a cop out. While there absolutely is some truth to it, I think that takes away from some of the accountability that individuals should hold for perpetuating said divide, even if it comes from orchestrated propaganda, because then that individual would still be falling for it. For example, you mentioned that you grew up in the Deep South. Or no, you didn't say that. You said you grew up somewhere where like white kids were also getting fucked over by the cops. So I grew up in the Deep South. That's what I was trying to say. I grew up in the Deep South. Small town Tennessee, and then a little bit of time in Kentucky. Very rural areas. And I actually grew up around, and this is to some degree why I was even Republican. I grew up around people that said fuck cops. I grew up with white people who couldn't stand cops. They could not stand cops. They fucking hated cops. And it was just one of those things. And they had their experiences as well, where they were pulled over unjustly or they were assaulted and so on and so forth. But a white person having that experience and can relate that experience to an average black person doesn't make up the entirety of your demographic, and they wouldn't have been assaulted solely based off of race. So it's still been a race issue there, whereas other things could have defined why the white person was assaulted. But I digress. I brought that up to say, I don't think it is orchestrated propaganda or orchestrated divide when someone calls into the stream on a daily basis and tells me that I'm a dirty hard R who's to stop crying about the world and get up and go get a job and find my dad. I know my father. I know both of them, actually, my regular and my stepfather.
That's a little rough. That's a little rough.
Everything that I do here, I've earned. I make decent money. I'm doing fine. But these people see this color of my skin, and they just assume he supports this, he likes this, he thinks this, he's a victim, so on and so forth. And that's the problem. That has nothing to do with some higher power trying to separate people. That's just bigotry. And they have no one to blame for that.
I think bigotry, though, I can tell you, coming from a white guy, I think bigotry is 100% ingrained in when we talk. I don't, from where I'm at, just so it makes sense to you. I'm kind of centrally located, about 150,000 is the town I'm in, so it's not huge, it's not small.
Follow the back up. Double tap the screen. Let's get the likes up to 100K. We've been live for about an hour.
I don't know, 40-some percent, low 40s, some percent African American, high 40s white, and then the rest is a mix of your grab bag of ethnic backgrounds. Okay, so it's pretty much that, and that's the lens when I come to a lot of these. I'm not from a place like Chicago where it's just very culturally diverse. So my experience are kind of like my own and what I see. And I can tell you, being a white guy, man, that bigotry is absolutely freaking taught and ingrained from the time you're a kid. And it's pushed by media. It's pushed by stereotyping. It's actually from the time you're a kid. I mean, even in school. I mean, you're taught. I was at a high school where I actually went to two different high schools because happenstance with my mom and dad not being married and moving into my dad's and yada yada. But I went to one high school that was more blue collar. And it's like I went there. And it's like, man, black kids, the kids with the Slayer or Metallica T-shirts, the headbangers, kind of some of the nerdy kids, the jocks, black kids, white kids, all sat at the same tables, and it was very, very much eclectic, and kind of people got along. And then I went to the other side of town, which was very low income, because my mom just had a different lot in life, and that's where she lived. And then I went to that school, and it was like a prison. Like White kids did not sit with black kids. Black kids did not sit with white kids. It was very much strange and weird. The culture of the school from the administration down was very different, and it was like night and day, man. It was like, am I in a fucking Twilight Zone? Like it was just a different world, and it made me. Now that I'm older and I kind of look back, I'm thinking, man, a lot of this bullshit is taught. I mean,
Yes,
you don't get
taught.
like that. Yeah, you don't get like that. You don't get like that. And I kind of digress too. I'm kind of trying to talk about the haves and have-nots, and I lean more conservative, right? I mean, obviously, I'm calling and I'm wanting to debate or refute, and I'm in a weird sphere, in a weird space, because so many fucking, pardon my language, but so many freaking conservatives are bootlicking fucking scumbags. Like, they want, a cop could literally beat a woman, a black woman, white woman, a white guy, a black guy. A cop can do no fucking wrong with most of these conservatives. So I'm like, man, what is your problem? Like, do you not like the Constitution? You cry about the Constitution when it comes to Second Amendment and other bullshit. But when you see these fucking videos of the stuff that happens to these people of all different ethnicities, we have a huge fucking policing problem in this country, man. And it's not about, they don't give a shit. And I'm telling you right now, man, they don't care if you're white or black. If you're poor, or if you just happen to run across some dickhead whose last name was the same last name, just call it Jones. He's a Smith or a Jones. That's several of his aunts and uncles and dads have been police officers. Like, that's the nepotism that goes on. They grow up pretty much racist. And they grow up thinking that they're better than the poor kids. Most of them go to the private schools, and they just think that they're better, and they go with this mentality, and the way they talk to people, treat people. They have no regard for people's constitutional rights. They have no regard for law, and they break the fucking law, and nothing happens to them.
Yeah, we absolutely need more accountability. Amongst our officers or agents, for that matter. With that being said, I'm curious as to how far you take that, because we can all universally agree that cops have a little bit too much power sometimes, with little oversight for accountability when they're fucking up Americans, right? Do you apply that to ICE?
Do I apply that to ICE?
Yes.
Yeah, I absolutely, man. I apply that to fucking FBI. I apply that to the county sheriffs. I apply that to the city police. I mean, we have. I live in Illinois, man, and we're a solid Democrat state. I mean, Chicago and Champaign County are about the only two Democrat counties. Cook County and Champaign County, where University of Illinois is, and every other county is Republican, and they carry this entire state. Therefore, they have now, in the last, 20 years, I believe we looked online, and they have gerrymandered and met. There's zero representation for conservatives here. It just happened again not too long ago. Pritzker ran on not redistricting and totally did it. As soon as he got in, he gerrymandered it even more. I mean, it's a super majority of Democrats, and there's no real representation for the rest of the state. It just is what it is. And even with Democrat-ran state, I mean, we have a tremendous policing problem here, and we have some real societal problems. And there's a huge there's a huge gap in the haves and have-nots here. I mean, I live in a centrally located place that, again, about 150,000 people, and there's $1 million homes, and then there's houses that are $10,000 and you couldn't give them away. The property taxes here are second highest in the nation. I mean, I could go on and on. Our gas prices are
it being a blue
tax.
state or blue city or whatnot doesn't negate it from having fraud or accountability and all these different things. Where those of us on my side of the aisle are not deluded is we're not under the belief that just because something is Democrat makes it inherently better. I would make that argument now for separate reasons compared to the actions of this current administration. But overall, we still have things to fight for, regardless of what party that your city or state may be under, because corruption and all these different things doesn't respect any party. It doesn't care.
No, it doesn't. In Chicago is grossly corrupt. I mean, you could you could go from the old Madigan deal and just read about Madigan in Illinois, and if that's something that you've never heard of, I mean, that's a rabbit hole that you could go down, and just the pure corruptness from even the Democrat that used to be the governor here that went to prison. J.B. Pritzker actually worked with the FBI to set this dude up and put him in jail. He basically tried to solicit selling a seat, and he was trying to play ball with J.B. And it was just there's a lot of shit going on in Illinois that you could really go down a rabbit hole. But I'm really getting off topic, and I don't want to bogart your time. But I just kind of wanted to point out that here's where progressivism loses me. It's because we have this ideal that a lot of people share with the eat the rich, you know, the disparity between the haves and have-nots. But yet you support people like Hillary Clinton. You support people blindly like Nancy Pelosi. You support people like Gavin Newsom. The list just goes on, and it's like, man, you know, you talk a good game, but then you got a guy like George Soros that funds a bunch of the progressive causes, and I think to myself, I'm like, man, these are people who have been ineptly corrupt for generations and generations. You watch what the Democrat Party did to Bernie Sanders, I think
you're conflating. I think you're conflating.
Well, I'm all over the place, but
I'm specifically talking about. I think you're conflating progressives with more so establishment Democrat people or moderates or whatnot. Because to be abundantly clear, and I would say I'm more centered than all of them, but they don't care for any of those people that you mentioned. Maybe more so George Soros because he helps like fund a lot of things, but even then, he's not some ideal for the left.
Sure.
But Hillary Clinton is no longer in politics.
No.
Gavin Newsom is also about to be out of his seat this year, and many Californians and people on the left are voting him out. We don't even want him to run in the 2028 election.
Right.
And who's that other person you mentioned?
Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters.
Pelosi
we could go on and on.
Also out of her seat. So a lot of the people that you're referencing are more so supported by establishment Democrats,
Yes.
which is basically center Democrats versus the progressive movement. The progressive movement is more so fans of the likes of Bernie Sanders, of AOC, of Zoran Mamdani, so on and so forth. So there's two different belts of people that you're referencing there.
No. I know. And I realize when you say complaining, but I'm kind of tying this together. So when we get to the root of it, though, when it comes down to it, this was a calculated thing, whether you believe it or not. I mean, I don't think there's any, not when you're talking about world leaders that they're running one of the richest, most powerful countries in the entire planet. When you get to the point where, Kamala Harris gets basically gifted and not even elected in a primary, and then you watch what happens to Bernie Sanders, who got completely shit on. And I'll tell you this:
Kamala Harris could not have had a regular traditional primary with 107 days left on the ballot. That is purely blame on Joe Biden.
No, and I see. I don't buy that. He got ushered out. That should have happened months before, and that was calculated. That was going to be their person
because he clearly was not capable of going for another term.
Well, he completely, but he was. He was pushed out by people who said he wasn't capable, who months before said he was capable. It was all bullshit.
Well, people fell back on his record, yes, and how he had a good record. But at the end of the day, the second that man got up on the debate stage with Donald Trump, and it was shown to the majority of Americans what was going on, there was more pressure on the Democrats to not only reevaluate their positions, but to realize that he would have been a potentially losing candidate for the election. And they got him about the paint. Not to mention, Joe Biden said he was going to run as a one-term president, and then he was very stubborn and actually upholding that promise until that debate.
Sure. And but I will say this: I think that it's disingenuous to say that the Democrats, and not in your view, it's your view, but I don't think Democrats thought, oh no, I think they knew the entire time. I think it was the plan, and I don't have anything to source that. That's hyperbole, but that's what I believe. I don't think there's any mistakes. They knew that, and this was the way that they were going to put her in. And I don't know why. I don't know why they thought that they could put anybody in with 100 and some odd days.
If it was a plan, Kamala Harris's campaign would have been more prepared. While she had some initial ideals that she campaigned on, she didn't have a full platform until what was it, a week before or 2 weeks before the DNC, roughly, where she actually laid out the 82-page document that she wanted for the economy. That if it was a plan, so many things wouldn't have happened. If it was a plan, there would have been better orchestration. I don't think it's. I think it's disingenuous to say that there was. I mean, if you want to say and believe that there were some people who were more so protecting the president, just because he was Democrat, just because they were on his side, I would agree with you, and I would actually, hot take maybe, I would actually say that was to some degree their job. No matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, it is your job to protect the president of the United States and his image on the world stage. I think he was doing that to some degree, but to the base, they absolutely had their failures.
Yeah, I think, and then I'll stop on that and bounce to the Bernie Sanders deal. But I think on the face, I think what happened was it was very clear to most people who were not. And these are, I mean, when I talk to people like yourself or just different people online and just other people, I mean, you talk to somebody on the left, and whether they're mainstream Democrats or far left progressives, Joe Biden was just coherent. He was it's just bullshit. It's right wing lies. I mean, I mean, it's like, dude, I can tell you, I live in Illinois.
Lying that he would had dementia, absolutely, but no one would say with their full chest on the left that Joe Biden was 100% capable. In fact, those of us on our side of the aisle are very strong advocates for even age limits on people who get
no, I get that, yeah, and I'm with that, but kind of going, and we'll agree to disagree on that point, but going back to Bernie Sanders, like here's where my problem lies, because I've kind of went in this hyperactive like ADD moment where I've kind of gotten all over the place with you. Obviously, you're a good, smart guy to talk to, and I love that. But my biggest point where I got left, and I said, man, I can't deal with the left, because I started off voting as a Democrat, and I moved over to the Conservative Party, and here's why, and I'll tell you. When they screwed Bernie Sanders the way that they did, and then the same people that I would follow that were so pro-Bernie flipped and said, you know what, we gotta go party, we have to go with Hillary, and the WikiLeaks dropped, and the bullshit that the DNC pulled on him, and I thought, man, this is not a political party, this is a cult. It's the same thing as MAGA. And it's no matter what, party first. Fuck that. I can't get behind that. I can't get behind Trump bending over and basically fucking America for Israel. I can't get over going to Iran and being the nail and the hammer. I could get behind them.
I feel like there's a huge factor that you're leaving out of the equation there when we're talking about the 2016 election. I go back and forth with people who are still pissed off about what happened to Bernie during that time. But those very same people showed up and voted for Hillary, not even necessarily because of her herself, which I actually contest a lot of people and think that she was a fantastic candidate, but because of the threat of Donald Trump. That's one of the issues with him showing up on the scene, is that we, to some degree, have been pigeonholed into voting for Democratic candidates that can't be better because the threat of Donald Trump is infinitely worse. There's a lot of people who are not the biggest fan of Hillary or even Harris, and I will contest all of them, but I get some of their criticisms. But with respect to or compared to Donald Trump, they fell in line. It's called harm reduction. That's what we vote on.
No.
That's not just throwing out their values just because of blue party.
No, because I think I don't think anybody with an ounce of integrity could say that the first, pre-COVID, that the first part of President Trump's, and whether you want to give the sausage to, and I don't mean that in a derogatory term, but whether you want to give the pizza over to Obama and give him all the credit or not, I don't think you can look at that. I think that you had a real chance to beat Donald Trump with a Bernie Sanders. You had a lot of disenfranchised first-time voters, people that were just getting into politics, that really felt the movement of Bernie Sanders, completely look at him and think you're a cop-out, because that dude had me hook, line, and sinker. And when he backed her after that, I knew right then and there, you don't stand for shit, dude, and you had me completely hooked.
You think Bernie Sanders doesn't stand for anything?
Not at all. When push came to shove and he bowed down after getting fucked over and said, I'm going to fucking back Hillary Clinton, dude, I couldn't respect the man. How could you? How could you? It wasn't about harm reduction.
Chat,
it's about, at
you're
what
gonna
point
hear,
are we going to...
You're going to hear something.
No, hear me out. Hear me out on
rare
this.
for me. You're actually going to hear me defend Bernie Sanders.
Hear me out real quick.
You're going to hear something very rare from me. I'm going to defend Bernie Sanders.
So hear me out real fast.
I don't think you understand exactly what Trump represented to not only the Democratic Party, but the entire country. Here comes a guy who comes down this golden escalator with all of these sexual assault allegations, well-documented clips and videos of him saying the most disparaging things to women. He doesn't run off of fixing immigration as previous Republican presidents has, which is the problem. We want to protect Americans, blah, blah, blah. It is they're rapists, they're murderers, they're substance dealers, so on and so forth. And some, I believe, are good people. Some, I believe, are good people. This is a man who ran off of doing things like repealing Roe v. Wade after we just got to a good middle ground when it comes to abortion rights. This is a man who talked about blowing up the national debt. It was estimated by some of the top economists, and we saw in his first 4 years that he blew up the most out of any president, even separate from COVID funding, which was not the majority. So all of these things and more is why Democrats said he can't possibly be the guy. We can't allow him to win. Whatever issues we have with Hillary Clinton, which the majority of that was her relationship to Bill, which is fair, and emails that was just on a wrong server, that isn't comparable to some of the things that Donald Trump ran off of, and straight up some of the things he did in his first administration. He ruled by executive order, barely utilized the legislative branch, bypassed checks and balances, and this time he ramped it up on a revenge tour. They understood that. So people falling back and saying, despite my issues with this person, with this party, I am going to vote for them, isn't them losing their integrity. If anything, it's being consistent with it.
No, I disagree, and here's why. And I was going to tell you this, because that was the time to go nuclear with the two-party system. That was the time to pull the trigger and say, fuck you. And that was the time for the Democrats and the progressives and the real working class people of America to say, fuck you. I'm telling you right now,
that would have been
man,
a legislative process.
A lot of people, I get that, but that was the time with the vote. That was the time with the vote to say, you know what, I'm not backing out. I don't support you. This is inherently corrupt. And here's why. It probably does give the nod to Trump. Trump wiped her ass anyway.
Democrats are the only party that have explored not only abolishing the electoral college, but implementing, ranked choice voting in states and then ultimately federally. That's how we abolish the two-party system.
Not for the betterment of America and giving people choice, only for power, because they have ingrained themselves in the ecosystems like
ranked
Chicago
choice voting,
and LA and New York.
If ranked choice voting gives Democrats more power, then that's Democrats killing the game in marketing. Ranked choice would allow everybody, any party or no party whatsoever, to go up and be able to go in an election, so long as you're able to fund yourself, in which case Zohra Mamdani and other candidates have done a fantastic job grassroots funding. They would allow literally anyone to go up on the ballot and run against any other party, any other candidate, and win based off of the merit of their campaign. That's the point.
How much money,
and Democrats support that. How much money did
Mamdani get from special interests? Do you know that?
From special interests? I'm sure you got a couple million. What were these interests?
I'm talking special interest groups. What private donations were the biggest part, and they were enormous. We're talking millions of dollars. People in the backdrop wanted him in. That wasn't grassroots, like people out in the streets and people in neighborhoods like you and I that were donating $50, $100.
He had a grassroots campaign, but yes, he also got funding from other places. I mean, you kind of don't really have much of a choice on such a big election. And not to mention, he's in New York City. It would be run differently from places like Texas and other places.
No, for sure. But
what were these big interests?
But what I'm talking about, I want to go back to that part because I'm totally getting off. What I'm talking about is when you had the part with Bernie Sanders, that was the time for all of us to give the middle finger to the DNC and say, you know what, we're done with you picking and choosing who runs. We're done with picking and choosing with the nepotism. We're done with that. Hillary Clinton was a prop that was put in. She should have never. That should have been left to the people 100%. Hillary Clinton was
the Secretary of the Defense. And what do you mean a prop that was put in?
Secretary of Defense under Obama. She's a legacy Democrat. She was talking about
we can
super
call
predators.
every single experienced Democrat a legacy Democrat.
She was talking in 1994 about super predator black people. I mean, come on, man. You can't. Joe Biden was talking about he was against busing, and then we all wanted to. All the Democrats wanted to lay over, and progressives wanted to lay over. Because Donald Trump's a boogeyman, we have to vote for him. It's like, at what point does the party say we are tired? It's like they let just enough progressives to get in, or people like Bernie get in, and I wouldn't even consider. I know this is going to sound crazy. I think Bernie's more centered than he is. I think he's more for the working class, and I dig that about him. But him going back on what he did and not holding her accountable because he was so fearful of Trump was just party line bullshit, man. I mean, it was, and you know that's what the Democrats are. You're never going to really have a choice. There's always a story and an excuse as to why their people are being handpicked and put in. The same thing with Kamala. I mean, there could have been a runoff over a few weeks. There could have been so many different ways that was handled. That was handled, and the ball was dropped completely. She had how many billions of dollars, and she overspent and went into debt in her campaign and got her ass wiped by Donald Trump. I'm talking about Harris. I'm sorry, I'm bouncing around. She got her ass wiped by Donald Trump, and that's embarrassing. I mean, the party, the party itself is in fucking shambles.
You are going all over the place. Not to mention the numbers on how much she spent on her campaign are significantly inflated by Republican news medias. I want to go over a couple comments. I want to go over a couple things in regards to the super predators comment, which universally we can say was problematic, but that was literally the sentiment at the time. The crime bill was the sentiment at the time. Joe Biden had the provision in there that was the Violence Against Women Act, which a majority of people supported. The Black Caucus, in regards to said crime bill, also supported that bill. So we can talk about how the comments could have been problematic and how they were perceived, or so on and so forth. But at the time, it was just fine. I'm unaware of Hillary Clinton doubling down on the fact that she thought black kids were that way. It was mostly speaking on the demographics of these areas.
When the demographics switched in the Democrat Party, of course, her when demographics switched in the Democrat Party, of course her view changed.
So people can grow from previous positions that they've had. We've seen Joe Biden do it. We see several other prominent Democrats do it.
Because you had more Dixiecrats back in the day than you have now. It's not really a thing. Now you have
certainly
way more.
And since you want to mention Dixiecrats, the Dixiecrats were the people who literally fought against the abolishment of slavery.
Yeah, I get that.
And then those Dixiecrats then went on to identify as Republican. Those Dixiecrats are now under the party that the Triple K endorsed. And that's not Democrats. But I really don't want to go down that route. I want to stick on Bernie Sanders because I actually have to fucking defend him here. Bernie Sanders in no way, shape, or form went back on his beliefs, went back on his values when he got told the party to get behind Hillary Clinton. I don't know how you could possibly say that, because he is literally opposed in every way, shape, or form to Donald Trump. What were the emails?
When the emails...
What were in the emails?
Came out, the emails that came out from WikiLeaks, are you not familiar with those?
I'm aware of the emails. What were in the emails that were so problematic, outside of them being on the wrong server?
It was basically, and I'm paraphrasing, you could probably AI them, but it's basically like, hey, no matter what, it's Clinton. This guy can't be. He's too radical. I mean, and this was
the email showed sentiments in the Democratic Party that said, fuck Donald Trump. We can in no way, shape, or form have him win the presidency because of the threat he imposes. I don't know how that's a crime.
No, what I'm saying is they were talking about Bernie Sanders, saying that Clinton has to be the candidate. It cannot be Sanders.
Democrats didn't like Bernie. We've been over this. I'm not sitting here and denying that. I know what the people wanted. I know that the establishment fought against it.
That's why you're a progressive. You say you're more center, but it says you're progressive. You're more for people like Mondani. You're more for people, and I'm guessing, right? Like I'm putting words in your mouth.
When I say I'm more center, it's just more so in regards to some of the policy positions that we have or we can achieve. That's where I somewhat center, but ideologically, I'm progressive.
Yeah. So we live in a state here where our Democratic governor is a billionaire who tripled his net worth during COVID because before mandates came out for masking and for shots.
Hold on, you're pivoting again. You're pivoting again. I want to
No,
go
I'm not
back to
pivoting.
Bernie Sanders. You said you liked Bernie Sanders. Okay, tell me
Yes,
3
yes.
reasons why you liked Bernie Sanders.
I like Bernie Sanders because at the time he seemed like he was very pro-union. He was very pro working family, working class, and that he was really about taking the economy and working towards fair protections for workers.
All
such
of
as
those
myself that are
things
union guys.
translated over to Hillary Clinton and him backing her. None of those values were done away with. He told the party to back her. He would have been pro. He would have been pro rights and workers unions, because Democrats have been the party of more so being for unions and funding unions, supporting unions' rights. He would have been for families. He would have been for more policies promoted by either side actually getting into the legislative branch outside of the committee. It would have been heavily influenced by big money lobbyists and corporate interests. And Hillary Clinton literally ran off of ending Citizens United. That is a huge problem in our country today. So none of those values went away when he endorsed Hillary Clinton. He was butthurt about how they treated him, but his values were the same and they still very much aligned Democrat. Hence why he caucuses with Democrats still as an independent.
Yeah, I don't see that they line, and I'll tell you why. Because I live in a state that's the 5th largest state in the union. We are heavily Democrat here because of Cook County and because of Champaign, mainly because of Cook County. Cook County runs our whole state. Okay, Chicago's a huge city.
Again, it being Democrat doesn't negate corruption.
No, not at all. But what I'm getting at is that a lot of the worker union rights, a lot of the stuff that's pushed by the left now, it doesn't trickle down to us. You know what it does? When they talk a good game about DEI, and I have biracial kids, but it talks about DEI. It talks about different things to help out minority protected classes. You know what that's matriculated into in Illinois? I'll tell you what it has, and numbers prove it. White women who have automatically become business owners under billionaire rich husbands, and now all of a sudden they've got all the contracts. They are the reapers of the quote-unquote DEI, the diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Well aware the majority of people who benefited
marginalized
from DIA being white women, that still would not negate the increase of black people and other demographics that would have gotten improvements or more
but what I'm saying is they haven't. What I'm saying is they haven't. They've been given the crumbs. They've been given the crumbs. It's the same.
Well, we are, for one, a minority population, and we are still in a predominantly white country and mostly predominantly white districts. So there's that. The numbers are bound to lean to white people anyway, because they're also included in DIA. DIA is not just for black people. I mean, we can sit here and criticize how more can be done for said communities.
I get that.
But you'd be acting as if black lives, black jobs, black empowerment, black improvement did not increase to some degree under DEIA policies versus before.
Did I say it didn't decrease to some degree? No. What I'm saying is it increased in a much more meaningful degree, but it's been used as a tool to just empower the same rich people. Because there's a whole list. If you go down this rabbit hole, and I say go down it, because this is why I think the way I think. Just look at it, and if you think I'm crazy, I get it.
Well, unless we wanted to violate the Civil Rights Act, DIA could not be something that we can just hand over positions and money and power and whatnot to black people and other groups.
You're not hearing me out. What I'm saying is when we have marginalized individuals getting certain points for state government jobs, state government contracts, things of that nature, the vast majority have landed with white women. And when you talk about government contracts for contracting companies, whether they be electricians, plumbers, big corporations, you know what these corporations have done that have been big donors to the left? They put their wife on as a CEO or a COO and made them 51%. Guess what? Now they're a minority company, and those companies have been getting all of. So it ain't black startups. The intention was to go after
black startups and all of these things. I'm unaware of any numbers that would show specifically in regards to government contracts. The majority of it went to white women
in Illinois,
specifically.
State government contracts, 100%.
Okay,
man.
so that would be a whole other state issue.
You're telling me you don't believe something when
I'm not telling you I don't believe it. I'm telling you I'm unaware of these numbers.
Gotcha.
You said
But
you're in
I'm
a
telling you,
union?
that's my beef. That's my beef, is that I see this stuff and it makes me absolutely sick. It's like, dude, this is just smoke and mirrors. This is, let's give the crumbs to some of the minorities, but we're still protecting these
Okay,
people
hold
that are
on.
giving
So,
us
so
money.
now it sounds like you're asking for handouts, which is not what black people are wanting. That seems to
That's
be a
not
huge
what I'm saying
disconnect
at
in some
all.
of the things that you're saying. You're talking about
No,
giving
you're
us
conflating what I'm
crumbs.
saying, man.
All we want is opportunity, the ability to do better for ourselves, which is
But what
heavily
I'm saying is
spearheaded by the government, particularly under democratic rule. And we've been given
So-
those
so
opportunities.
you're
There are
okay.
still issues, but that's because racism, misogyny, and otherwise still exists in both parties, regardless of party.
So what you're saying is you're okay when we put together programs that to try to incentivize minority-led businesses and marginalized business owners. You're okay with just the fact that opportunity just went up a little bit when the majority are still
All
going
of those
to.
things can be improved on with the right people when they're voted on. We control
I mean, do you
all
not-
of these
do you-
with our votes.
Is it? And I'm not asking this in a way that is disrespectful toward you whatsoever. So please don't take it that way. I'm really trying to have a spirited debate, and I actually like you, man. I mean, hell, you sound like a guy I could have a beer with. Like all bullshit aside, we disagree on whatever. I could have a beer with you, and you and I could be cool. But what I'm talking about is, it seems to me like you're just okay with the status. Like you don't see how innately the left completely fucking uses minorities the way that they do. They absolutely manipulate and they don't have minorities' best interest in mind, man. They don't. It's still the same people that are getting richer under Obama. We can go through this under Obama. The top 1% gained more wealth in the 8 years Obama was president than all other presidents combined.
We're in a
That is
capitalist
not a fact
country
that can be.
with capitalist
Bro,
presidents.
but bro,
I don't know how
but
else you expect that to
dude,
change,
you
especially
can't-
with
you
one
can't
black
brush
man
that
in
away.
8 years. There's no
You
brushing
can't
it
brush-
away. I have not disregarded
brushing it
anything
away.
that you've saying, including how the Democratic Party may play off of the backs of minorities. I understand all of that. My stance is always still going to fall back on progression versus regression, versus getting more of us involved in our process so we pick the right people so that we have the right oversight to ensure that these things do not overwhelmingly benefit groups of people that are comfy to begin with. There is corporate greed in all of it, including DEIA, I'm certain. But again, that was for the most part not a federal program, but private institutions implementing their own versions and then somewhat supported by the government.
Would you
Those
say
are two different things.
Would you say that the era of Obama, the Obama era, obviously he's, as far as the left goes, he's the most progressive leftist president that we've ever had? Would you say that would be true?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Well, I would agree to disagree. I think
What
Obama
do you
really
think
ran
makes
on that. And
what do you think makes Obama the most progressive president?
well, I think the fact that he ran with Obamacare, I think that was huge, and I think that the way that and we can talk about how great it was or how but he's a guy who actually started to work towards getting universal health care, and that was the steps that needed to be taken in order to give people. I'm a conservative that actually believes that we should be able to probably go ahead and have universal health care up to a certain percent. And if you make a certain percentage over, if you're making over $100,000 a year, man, and you don't have 27 dependents, you should be able to go ahead and buy your own insurance. But for everybody else that are marginalized, for instance, have a kid that has autism, man, without a little bit of help and some of the stuff and some of the safety nets that I have, like we would be in bad shape, man. And I love my kid, and my kid has a lot of speech therapy and occupational therapy, and there's just a lot of kids that have that, and it crushes you financially. I think that it's fucking asinine that we don't have universal health care.
The ACA was definitely progressive for its time, sure. I wouldn't say that one thing made him the most progressive candidate. He still had very much other policies that were pretty center, including his corporate tax rate. He actually wanted to lower it to 27%. Granted, this is where I guess more quote unquote progressive leading positions come into play. He was going to offer corporations a 27% corporate tax rate versus 35% if they allowed more workers' protection. So he's like, hey, you get more tax cuts. You just have to make sure your policies and whatnot are better insuring people, whether it's healthcare, benefits, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So yes, there were more progressive leaning things. Ultimately, he's going to be the more progressive leaning candidate because he was a Democrat versus Republicans.
Sure.
But he still, by no metric, was the most progressive candidate or
not candidate
president.
I'm talking about president. Who'd you say would be more than FDR?
More than FDR? I don't even know if I would say
I'm asking. I'm not trying to get you in a gotcha moment. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm just telling you in my life. Okay, let's do this. I'm under 50, over 40. In my lifetime, definitely the most progressive. I think progressive too. To be fair, man, if you're talking about 2008 to 2016. That era versus today, progressivism is completely different. It's
fair. I think if we're to talk about
way far,
specifically within the last 25 years, if we're talking about positions that they've held and even policies that they've passed, I would have to go with Biden. I'm not the most equipped, to be fair, to speak on behalf of JFK or FDR. I'm familiar with them, but that wasn't my time. But I can speak on these recent decades in my age group. It absolutely would be Biden over Obama. But I can also say Biden ran because Obama walked. A lot of the policies that Obama implemented, Biden just carried over because he was the vice president at the time and he saw what worked.
Yeah. No, I would be one of those guys. Oh, Obama's the worst president. No, I think Obama did a pretty decent freaking job, man. I really do. But again, without getting off into this, I guess I'm just still a little butthurt about the 2016. It's made me disenfranchised. I'm in, like, believe it or not, I'm in a group of people that have basically given the middle finger to the Democrat Party and have literally voted, and maybe it hasn't always been self-serving, voted against just to give them the middle finger. And maybe that's stupid, but at what point do we say, look, we're fucking tired of the same old bullshit, and we need to either adapt and move on as a country or even as a party and get better or get left behind. Because if you don't have the blue wave, you're not going to win the next presidential election. You're done. This Supreme Court's already majority. And if the House and if there is no blue wave, there's zero checks and balances. Now look at the rabbit hole we're going down there, because you're not going to win the next presidential election unless there's an Obama that they can pull out of their hat, an Obama-like person. He is so charismatic, such a great speaker, really likable guy. Like, man, I could have a beer with Obama. I think a lot of working class people really kind of connected with that guy. Unless you got a guy like that or a gal that you can pull out of your hat, I don't see anyone on the left.
So Obama was a surprise in the 20.
The way he came out of nowhere, and that's why I'm saying there could be.
I want to explain to you, and I guess we do need to wrap it up. I can move on to the next guest, but I want to explain to you why that is such a problematic response. All of the things that went wrong in the 2016 election, the things that ended up selecting Hillary Clinton over Bernie Sanders, how in the world are we supposed to lost my train of thought. Basically, all the things that you're complaining about that said went wrong in that election, some of those things in which I would even agree with, are things that we can't change by sitting on our hands. We do not get back at the Democrats by not voting for the Democrats, especially as the party is changing from what it was from 2016 in several ways. Some of the individuals that we see in our Congress, the legislative body, that are going to be able to ultimately change the rules of how we go about our processes, are working there right now. We have more of them running for Congress and the Senate this year. So if you're to talk about, I'm mad at this and I'm just not going to vote for them again, but then we have these people who want to change that, who acknowledge that pain, and you're not going to vote for them, then you're just complaining to complain. And I don't think that's a useful strategy at all. I especially don't think, looking at the Republicans who just want to undo how far we've gotten by just about every single metric and go back to, we're basically already in Reaganomics 2.0, I don't think that serves us in the slightest.
Yeah, and I guess just me, and you got to understand that in my age demographic, a lot of people in my age demographic, the age 40 to 50 is not the biggest voting block. In between 40 and 50, that's one of the stronger ones. And then the biggest increase was the 20-something males, that came out. They were huge. but the people that are in my age,
No, the majority of people who voted would literally be in your age demographic. There was an increase in young males, young white males specifically.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But yeah,
That was my sentiment. That's what I was saying. And if I misspoke, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's so a lot of us guys that were in that went through that 2016. I mean, I think that's where you're seeing the strength on the right. I guess if there was a left guy that was that wasn't part of the Schumer, the freaking Pelosi, the Maxine Waters gang. I mean, and I kind of get lost with some of the stuff with the squad and AOC and Ilhan Omar and all the corruption and stuff that she's been I mean, it's hard for me to really buy in with people. I don't mind AOC. She's off-putting. Her personality is very off-putting. To just a normal blue collar guy like myself. It's not misogyny. I don't know. I just can't really relate about her. I can't really relate. I can't really relate with her. She when you're telling basically when you all you do is that white guys are the problem and they're terrible. I mean,
that's not all she spews whatsoever.
No. But you got to understand that's the bites that hit people like me hard. When I hear that shit,
I think if people like you actually paid close attention to what she was saying, then you would not be taking offense. And have you ever heard the term, if it doesn't apply, let it fly?
But I would say the same. I would say the same with some of the stupid rhetoric that Trump was pushed with a lot of minorities. And but they don't let it fly.
Sure, except he projects it very broadly. A lot of them go right. Literally going as far as to reposting a post on Truth Social with the Obamas, some of the most well-accomplished, intelligent, bright, successful black people in the United States, on monkeys.
Yeah, I've never seen that. I've heard of that, but I haven't
seen that. You did not see that?
No, I swear I didn't. And I heard about it, but I did not see it. I didn't. And it could be an algorithm thing. It could be because I'm looking at certain stuff. But then I'm a blue collar guy, man. I'm a simple dude. I'm in my trade and I take care of my family and I see what I see. But I think if they want to get more of us guys over there, and when I'm talking about white guys, blue collar, then they, because I'm telling you now, man, I work in a union, and I won't say who because I don't want to out myself and cause myself any issues. But I work in a union where our union 100% represents every Democrat that comes up. And I'm telling you, 90% of my coworkers are all conservatives. They care about their gun rights. They want to go hunting. They want their AR-15s. They don't want to, and they're being told and browbeaten every time they get on the internet and they see these stupid clips that say how bad and evil white guys are. It's a problem. And it's something that the left is going to have to reconcile. If they want us to come over, they gotta calm that, and they have to at least be able to explain their message, because like you said, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. Well, when all we're seeing is this and we don't see the context of it, well, man, that's a talking point, and then that gets driven home into your brain. And when you think that no matter what, because I'm a white guy, I'm not valued by this party, well, hell, why would you give them your vote? You know what I mean? Especially when you started off as a Democrat. You're like, hold on, man.
Who have been the majority of leaders and people in positions of power in the United States from its inception?
Pardon me?
Who is the majority of leaders in any branch in positions of power in the United States since its inception?
Well, white men.
And who has been, who owns the majority of capital and corporations and institutions in this country?
White men.
Who is the demographic of people who commit the most crimes in this country?
Probably white men. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Okay. So you're able to acknowledge all of that, right? I know all of that because I'm simply looking at data. I don't believe every single white man is a criminal. I don't believe every single white dude is a rapist, because you guys lead in that too. I don't believe any of that stuff. It's simply going over the numbers. And when we talk about specifically combating the seeming race wars that Republicans like to start off on when they talk shit about this black people and 13% of the population represent doing 50% of the crime and all that stupid shit that Charlie Kirk was touting around. And then people like Donald Trump bring him up on the stage. They celebrate him. They honor him. He compliments him specifically for helping him get an increase in the white male vote. They honor him in Congress. They say that he's not a racist, that he was just up for spirited debates, all of these different things. And when people like Ilhan Omar, no matter how you feel about her, AOC and otherwise, say that is a problem, when Republicans like to, or some of them like to put forward policies that demonize black people in some of our areas, when the number one a factor in crime is poverty, not race. It's poverty. And then when they put all these policies on black people, and then Ilhan Omar responds with things like, what was her quote specifically? She said, if we're to talk about doing, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it basically in response to something someone said about black people. She said, well, if we're to talk about demonizing and criminalizing groups of people based off of this, then we need to look at white people. And then Republicans ran with it and said, see, she wants to arrest all white people, white men, right? She said, yeah, see, she wants to arrest all white men. She said all white men are this, all white men are that. And she was not saying that. She was only responding, if we were going by your playbook, the Republican playbook, then we would do that. Those are the clips that are taken out of context. Those are the clips that are used to demonize people like her and make it a whole we hate white people thing. That couldn't be further from the truth. The majority of Democrats are white.
It's
white
not a
men.
Good formula. It's not a good formula for. It's not a good formula for the right or the left to demonize people, because that's when you lose people. And
sure,
I think that
but we're not.
What you've
that's
seen
the difference.
is you've pretty much. I think the right. And this is what I've said to people that I work with. And I actually work in a sector where, believe it or not, like I'm the minority. It's like all black guys. Like I'm literally like one of 3 or 4 white guys, and the rest of them, and we all talk and bullshit and eat lunch together. And when we have these conversations, it's like, man, we feel when we hear stuff like that, it's like, shit, maybe we're kind of getting the medicine that black people have gotten, and we're the new black guy. Like we're to them. I mean, that's how we feel. Like, why don't you just come to us and try to sell us on why you're better? And not browbeat us and make us feel like we're, something that we're not. I mean, yeah, white people did the slavery and different things, but man, I don't know. None of the white dudes I rock with think that that's cool. None of us think that was right. None of us would ever
you just
allow
literally
that to happen
conflated.
Today.
Hold on, you just conflated classism with racism. Those are two different things. You and a black person could be in an area where your access to medicine is crap, your schools are crap, so on and so forth. That in no way, shape, or form makes you equivocal to the black experience, because that factor would be based off of class versus a factor that would be based off of race. But I'll tell you what, I do have another guest up here. I appreciate you being as civil as you possibly could in this conversation, but I am going to move on. You're more than welcome to call back at a later date. I do appreciate the conversation. You enjoy the rest of your night.
Man. Have a good night.
Yeah, that one was gonna make me crash out. Had to stop that one right there. We're the new black guys is fucking crazy.
I guess my question for you is, what do you think about this divide between the 92% and progressives, especially black progressives? I'm more curious about.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm still fuck. Okay, guys. And I really believe he was genuine. I do not believe he meant any harm. Not that obviously impact matters more than intention, but I don't believe that he meant any harm by that. I think he was just simply trying to make a comparison. He's one of those class war bros, right? It's just basically we're all in the same point. It's the have versus the have-nots. He made that clear from the beginning of the live. So there's ways that they talk that supersede race. I understand why. It's not valid, but I understand why. If we want to talk about classism being the immediate impact of our wallets and things of that nature, there's an argument there. But please, guys, racism and classism, two different belts. You having to deal with this shit because you're poor and you're in this area and people don't want you to have stuff is different from people wanting me to have the same experience solely based off the fact that they think I'm a dirty hard R, right? They're different things. They're different things. Anyways, I'm sorry. You said something about, what was your question? The 92% and what?
I don't know. I feel like, do you feel like there was a divide between, I call it the 92%, the 92% and black progressives?
To some degree, yes. Thank you guys for the gifts. I appreciate you. Let me go ahead and reset this goal. Before I answer the rest of that question, we've actually been live for about an hour and 40 minutes, and I haven't done a single PSA. Guys, if you're not following me, hit that follow button in the top left corner. We are live every Saturday after 3 p.m. CST and randomly throughout the week. Please feel free to do a couple things to help us in the algorithm and show your support for the stream. First thing being, obviously, tap the hell out the screen. Thank you guys so much for getting us to 100,000 likes. We typically shoot for 100,000 an hour. So we're about 20 minutes away from the 2-hour mark. If I can get you guys to put your fingers to the screen and get us up to 200,000 likes, I would greatly appreciate it. And I do have super chats, and I thank you to read it in a moment. Share out the live with your friends and family. Repost, add to your story. Reposting is very important, but it doesn't count as a share. So make sure that you also share that additionally to a group chat, a friend of yours, or whatnot. Get us boosted out to all the people you know who need to hear this information, who may have legitimate questions that you don't want to answer because you have more of a likelihood of crashing out. I don't fucking know. Knock out the little 5-cent gift goals here. We have the little kitty cat thingies. Please feel free to knock that out. Obviously, you can become a super fan if you would like to support the stream that way. I think it's too expensive, but there's other ways that you can support me. And those other ways are going to be the links in the bio. Whether it's following me on all the social media platforms, such as YouTube, that we're doing streaming to right now, or Instagram, where I post the videos I put here, joining the Discord community, to which we're over 700 members strong, getting yourself some merchandise off the merch shop, such as what you see behind you. Hell, I'm wearing Erica's shirt right now. This is on the ericaeffect.com. But if you want to get any of my merch, you may go to hectorshops.com with 2 R's. Use the discount code WeAllWin for 10% off your entire order. And then finally, the direct donations is going to be the links in the bio to the Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo. If you like what I'm doing here, trying to encourage these more, I guess, bipartisan conversations, you want to say hi to my cute face or just support the stream, you may donate directly to those links. Hector Talks with 2 R's on Cash App and Venmo, and PayPal, Hector Pal with 2 O's and 2 R's. If you're over on the Tube side, you may send a super chat or a super sticker. Speaking of super chats, we did have one over here, but on the YouTube side, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notification bells, do all the things. I have to do this shit fast, bro. W's in the chat to the one money pen for the $5 super chat. Louisiana is trying to pass a bill to force unhoused into unpaid labor or jail. Did you hear about this? No, the fuck I didn't. I'm going to look into that in a second. After I address this guest. I'm so sorry, guest. I think there's a slight divide in regards to, say, I guess to some degree you can say I'm a part of that divide. And what I mean by that is, I'll speak on Texas specifically. I identify as a black progressive, but I am also one of those people that are who would tell Texans to vote for James Tallarico. There's a large portion of black progressives or black Texans are super pissed off about her loss, and rightfully fucking so. But at the end of the day, in the face of John Cornyn and Ken Paxton, James Tallarico is a fantastic candidate. I know he has his issues. He has a lot to do in regards to getting comfy with the black community and actually addressing some of our issues. But at the end of the day, he's not a regressive candidate. And so I always fall back to progression versus regression. So I think that's the disconnect between me and other people. Yes, go ahead.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly stand behind the fact that I believe James Tallarico needs to earn black voters.
Absolutely.
But I don't ever feel like the 92% allows for that same policy to be held for us.
What do you mean?
If we don't vote for Kamala Harris, if we didn't vote for Hillary Clinton, they don't have to earn our vote. We just have to give them our vote. And if we question them in any kind of way, if we push for policies that we care about, then we're demonized, just always talked as if this isn't the time to be doing this. So that's what I mean.
So I do think there may be some communication issues in that regard, and says how we get our message across. But I would align myself with that position of, yes, I do think there are very much times to where we can't fuck around and find out. If you want to phrase it or see it as just giving up our vote despite it not being earned, one of the issues I have with that, specifically if we're talking about 2024, is that Kamala Harris, I think, very much earned our vote. We can look at her state policies in California. We can look at the things she was advocating for on the campaign trail for presidency. We can look at her work even as a vice president to improve black lives. I think as black people, despite her not being the most progressive pro-left person, she very much did earn our vote. If to anyone who's paying attention,
I voted for her. Yeah. So I'm not saying me specifically. I'm speaking once again. I'm talking about not even just Kamala Harris. I'm talking any other.
I'm more the base. Yes, I understand what
Yeah.
you're saying. I don't know. It's a hard pill for me because I get very frustrated when I'm talking to people who are exploring options other than voting. Because for one, I think even those of us who do vote in this electoral process, we also are supposed to be doing things on the side. We are supposed to be following up our candidates. We are supposed to be holding their feet to the fire and saying, "Do what we need, or you're gone." But in terms of holding back our vote, in terms of protesting against some of these individuals, in regards to straight up saying, "Fuck it, we're gonna vote for the opposing side to teach a lesson," I can never get behind any of those things. I think that's a little crazy.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I think even if you look back to the primaries, back when Biden was essentially the only person running, and there was no threat of him losing. How much did the? I'm sorry, my kid's in the background.
You're good.
How much did the Muslim community get credit?
Did he cut out for anyone else? He may have gotten a call or something.
I'm sorry, did you hear me?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was saying how even during the primaries when Joe Biden was essentially running by himself and there was no threat of him winning, even the Muslim community then got criticized for their protest vote. So we can't even protest when there's no like there's no consequence to not doing it.
You mean you're talking about the primaries?
Yeah.
Oh, where he was not contested?
Yeah.
I think
I'm saying even the Muslim community got criticized for protesting in a primary.
Well, I think that was different because we're talking about things like the whatchamacallit, things like the uncommitted campaign, which I've gotten back and forths about this. I've heard some people say the uncommitted campaign wasn't necessarily telling people not to vote for any of them, but more so holding more accountable, so on and so forth. But there were oftentimes, I think a lot of people when they are, and this is something I will criticize some people on my side about, there are people who pull up legit criticism of these candidates, and it's often conflated with, "Oh, are you saying don't vote for them? Are you saying this?" We're going, "No, we're just saying demand more." Especially in a primary process, in which case I agree with you. That is a place we can absolutely be as loud as we possibly fucking want because we're just picking between two people ultimately on our side to some degree, versus the threat of a Republican. But I think you're just always going to have more so of those establishment people. I don't necessarily align with them in the primary process. But when it comes down to those generals, yeah, I'm a pretty big picture guy. But okay. I want to point out something you said specifically in regards to the 92%, and how that could have been perceived because you're talking about black women. The 78% would have also been talking about the same things. It just may not have been to the same degree per the numbers, 14% less. So
that's fair.
That could have been taken a little way, man.
That's fair. I didn't mean for it to. I'm not talking specifically about black women because it's black men that do the same thing too. I'm speaking just black voters in general at this point. It just seems, or at least that you have those people that want to demonize you for making a choice, but I don't demonize them in this moment when I feel James Tallarico does need to earn their vote.
Absolutely. Like every single candidate who gets up on a stage and asks for people to vote for him, no matter what the threat is, needs to earn the vote. 6,000%. I think now, and even before then, is the perfect time for people to address their grievances. In fact, I was just on a friend of mine's panel where she was talking about some recent rally or whatnot, where James Tallarico was talking to black voters, specifically the ones who voted for Crockett, and asking what he needed to do. I cannot confirm this. It's just what I was just told. I haven't vetted it yet. And then the criticism there was, why the fuck weren't you listening to us the whole time around? Why are you now asking us what you need to do? This should have been something that was put forward on your platform the entire time. So there's all kinds of fucking room to go around criticizing Tallarico. But I can't do Cornyn. I can't do Paxton. So to me, we can do that and we can be as loud as we possibly can. But it's just, I do think there's a point in time where we have to fall in line. And I don't fucking like it, but now's not the time to fuck around and find out.
No, I don't like it either. I've hated it the last 3 elections. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. Since 2016, has it been 3 elections?
He refuses to say black voters. He said Crockett voters. Okay, I need to go look that up. I'm going to find that after the live because I've heard a few people talk about it now, and I'm really curious to see how bad he fucked up there. I'm super curious to see how bad he fucked up there. I'm also one of those people. I have a very detached position on this because while I am in Texas, I don't intend to be here long, so y'all can really do what the fuck you want. But he really needs to address the mediocre black man comment for Colin Allred. Like, desperately needs to address that shit. In fact, I'm trying to think, is there a way that section of the call could be put out to the public? Can't you get a record of that from your carrier? I feel like you can.
Was that not just like a personal one-on-one conversation, or
it would basically be something where if they could retrieve it, they would need consent. I think in the state of Texas, you would need the consent of both sides to put it out there. But he said it was misconstruing what he said, in which case I think a simple playback would prove that if he's telling the truth. But the creator that I'm aware of, I don't really think she misses a lot. I don't think she would come out and even say that unless it was that big of a deal. So it's something that needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed that while he may not have been overseeing some of the PACs that were shitting on Jasmine Crockett, they supported him. Where was his criticism of them? Where was him saying, no one who talks that way about a fellow Democrat of mine should be on my side? So on and so forth.
Okay.
So, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I would just say, if we're just talking what's the best thing to do on a campaign, how do you really battle back against a he said, she said moment?
I agree. Literally, unless you had the proof, the best you can do is, I guess, in Talarico's position, if you really wanted to show that you did not say that and that's not what you meant, you're supposed to now lead by example. You're supposed to talk to the black community. You're supposed to advocate for the black community in a way that they did not see before the primaries, before he won. And I think that will help at least to people who can't get over it. They can accept accountability, or you holding yourself accountable for that and trying to make peace with that demographic.
But do you feel, I question this, because there's a lot of attacking the Latin community right now, because there's this perception or this thought, and rightly so, right? I think Jasmine Crockett was taken out of context. If Jasmine Crockett had the same effort to correct or explain what she meant during the primaries with the Latin community, like, is that something that we struggle with, is getting this black and Latin support coming together? It kind of always feels like we're on opposite sides.
I don't know about complete opposite. I don't know what the criticism was for her and the Latino community. I know there was one comment that she said in regards to Fields that was somewhat taken out of context. I believe that she did clarify that. I'm unaware of nothing else.
I'm saying, did she clarify it enough for them? Is what I'm saying.
Enough for them? Well, that's very subjective, but no, I'm not sure about that one.
Because I think the same thing is subjective for us. How much clarification is James Talarico going to need to do that's good enough for us?
Well, that's the thing. I think it's one of those things where some people like to ask for things that are impossible, or ultimately they'll ask for things, but they don't actually want the answer. So there's only so much we can do there. But I thought Jasmine Crockett ran a great campaign. There's always things that could have been done better, but I don't think she failed any community.
I'm not saying she failed one community or another.
Yeah, I'm not saying you are.
Yeah. Could the outreach have been better
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be outreach can always be better, sure, always. But she did, even to some degree, have less time than James Tallarico did, and he very much already had a very solid Latina base long before she even entered the race. That was really and truly more so a last minute decision based off of what took place with HB4 or SB4 actually.
Do you have any idea of what the race looked like prior to Jasmine getting in the race? Like how close or how far behind was, forgive me, I forgot the other candidate's name.
Who was running against Tallarico?
Yeah.
There was Allred.
I remember.
Allred was,
Yes.
he was there. He wasn't really looking great. He wasn't looking great. He didn't have the pull that Tallarico had. And mind you, he would have had the funding at that point.
So I'm curious what James' numbers look like with black voters prior to Jasmine getting in the race.
So am I. From what I've heard in reports, it wasn't necessarily good. Wasn't horrible, but it wasn't good. Erica, would you mind watching over the live for a second? I just have to use the bathroom really quickly.
Okie dokie.
Thank you.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm the captain now, and I'm not as nice as Hector is. I really don't care about James Tallarico. I don't live in Texas. You live in Texas, Thomas? The other guy left. That's funny as hell. Hi, guys. Hi, Hector's people. Hi. Make sure you guys are doing all the good things. Make sure we get the likes up to over 200,000 likes. Also, continue to share and repost the live and knock out his gift codes. And if you want to show him love, make sure you do so via the links in his bio and check out his site, hectorshops.com. hectorshops.com. All right, Hector's going to be mad when he comes back and he's going to see that everyone left. It's going to be so much fun. No, but seriously, so here's the deal, guys. All right, whether you like Tallarico or not, what I want you to know is that you don't want Cornyn, you don't want Paxton, okay? You don't want, I think Abbott is running for that position too, right? Abbott is running for that position. You don't want Abbott either, right? So make sure that you get out and you vote and that you actually vote for Tallarico, because we don't want those, Republicans in office, because then it's going to be business as usual. What we're trying to do is effectively make Donald Trump truly a lame duck president, so that way he won't have control of the House nor the Senate. So Congress will be for the Democrats. So that is the mission. All right. So again, I'm not even going to say harm reduction. The mission is to make Donald Trump a lame duck president. Okay, that way he cannot continue to pass any more harmful legislation via budgeting tools, because that's how he's basically been able to do the majority of the things that he's done. Look at the One Big Ugly Bill Act. Also, let's take a look at his executive orders. All right, if he has a Democratic Congress in place, so he's a lame duck for his last 2 years. Last 2 years. Then he won't be able to do that, because Congress is the ones that can actually stop all of this. They can stop all of this, but they're simply just not doing it because they suck. All right. And they're all, I was going to say something, but I shouldn't say that because they got to protect Hector's life. But, they're all Trump's cronies is what they are. So, yeah. Let's make sure you guys in Texas, everywhere, but definitely in Texas, because that's the topic of conversation, get out and vote for Tallarico. All right. Lame duck president is the goal. Yeah. I like your shirt. It's a nice shirt you got there.
It is a pretty great shirt I got there. Mm-hmm. Would you like to know where I got this shirt?
Yes. Where'd you get that shirt from?
So I went to this website. And it was called www.ericaeffect.com. And I got me 2 of them. I got me this one in navy blue, and then I got me a purple one. It was lit.
Yeah.
It was lit.
Yes. And we have even more colors. I heard that she has colors in like orange and red and yellow, and is really pretty royal blue, along with the Black Pride version. Pretty awesome. If one more white person asks me if they can order that shirt, I swear to God. I don't care. Order the shirt.
Is there a black statement on this? The fuck?
Yeah. I don't know. Can we do that? Yeah, you can order it. I don't really care. There is a pink one, isn't it? There's a pink one too.
Yeah,
Yes,
you can
Miss
have-
Carol,
yeah.
there's a pink one. I think Miss Carol has the pink one. But yeah, I ran everyone off. I called them scallywags and hood rats. And they didn't like it and they left.
All right then.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you didn't say anything crazy.
I
W's in the chat to Canary for the $10 Venmo. That was the definition of caucasity. Actually, I think you were here for a little bit with that one guest, the white guy who was talking about, he was conflating racism and classism. So that was for him. That absolutely was Canary. W's in the chat to you. There's a lot of people who just, I don't know, they want to come together by ignoring issues.
You can't do that.
It's not how that works, because then we're going to end up right back to square one. That's the whole point of progression, right? And some of this is, we're not trying to rehash the same shit over and over and over and over again. And we do every time we, the Democrats appeal to the center, appeal to folks to make them comfortable, and then 10 years down the road, having the same discussions. That's the problem with all this conceding. That's the problem with all of this middle grounding. It's ridiculous.
I think people should take a look at like the issues that we face in this country, like when it comes societal wise. I think that's the word. I don't know.
Societal.
But
Yeah.
yeah, societal. Thank you very much. But if we look at it as if we look at our relationships, so like with our partners, right? If you don't talk about what the issue is, all it does is build resentment, right? That's all you do. You're just festering resentment is all you're doing. That shit is fermenting. So actually talking about the issues, it allows you to actually grow and progress and move forward, do all of the good things. But they don't want to talk about it because it's too uncomfortable. But if you think about it, like in the relationship sense, I mean, like talking to your partner about something stressful isn't comfy. All right. It messes with your nervous system, but you talk to them about it, you get through it, and then you guys move on forward from there. I think the main thing for a certain demographic of people, for white folks, is that they are simply afraid that what they have done to Black and brown people globally is going to be done to them. And don't nobody want to harm them folks. Don't nobody care. People really just want to be left alone. All people are really asking for is equity.
6,000%. He kept bringing up stuff that was happening in Chicago. Chicago, we have this much unions. We have this much place that's run by Democrat, and they're still corrupt. DEIA, the majority of those contracts and all that stuff went to white women. I was just like, you don't think we know this? We talk about all of that too. We talk about all of that too. So now let's get some more Black and brown representation. Man, I'm gonna speak for the niggas. Let's get some Black representation in there who are gonna know how to actually ensure that these policies that are meant to uplift the right people always seem to somehow overwhelmingly benefit white people.
Yep.
We don't do that by voting fucking Republican.
Nope.
It is what it is.
Fun times. Okay, I go bye now. I'm gonna take a nap.
I got you. Are you going live?
Yeah, around about an hour and 50 minutes.
Later, motherfucker. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
I'm not arguing with people. Go. You know how I am. Okay.
All right, later.
Thanks, guys.
Guys, we are right at 200K, so you're not doing too bad on the taps. We're about 3 minutes into the 2 hour mark, so let's get the likes over to over 200K. If you have a question for me, no matter what end of the political spectrum you're on, you may request up in the box. You're the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. And if you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. If you're not following me, hit that follow button in the top left corner. We are live every Saturday after 3 p.m. CST and randomly throughout the week. Make sure you're sharing out the live with your friends and family. Repost, add to your story. Knock out the little kitty gift goals there. And check out the links in the bio for the best ways to support. Whether it's following the other social medias, Discord community, getting yourself some merch off of the shop, or donating directly to the links in the bio. It is greatly appreciated. All right. If you want to support the Ashwagandha Fund, because my Ashwagandha is working fucking overtime today, especially with that first guy, the best ways to do so, cash that PayPal Venmo. I appreciate y'all. Let me look up this. Let me look up this thing. Someone sent a super chat to talk about Louisiana. And it was about Let me see if I can find it. You guys remember what it was? It was something in Louisiana in regards to like slave labor or whatever the hell. I think. Let me check. And we'll look into that while we wait. Yeah, Louisiana is trying to pass a bill to force unhoused. I know I keep doing this. I'm going to do it again. And this isn't the shit out of anybody. Just a criticism, in my personal opinion. Just my personal opinion. I will never understand unhoused over homeless. I will never understand that one. I may be progressive. I'm not that progressive. I don't know how to even associate that with progressive. I don't get it. I actually don't get it. Actually, if someone can explain to me what the difference is and the significance, please feel free to request up. Oh yeah, we always do invisible prompts. So the main prompt, I'm a progressive, ask me questions. If you have any questions, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, and you would like to have that answer to the best of my ability, you may request up in the box or call in, or you can request up in the box and call in to answer my question, which is, can someone tell me the difference between unhoused and homeless? I don't fucking get that one. I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't. But that's what I'm going to look into. Louisiana bill to house or forced labor. I'll do that in a second. Jeff, got a question for me?
Hey, what's up, Hector?
What's up?
Hey, unhoused and homeless is the same thing, but I just moved to a different state, and I'm in Florida, and I want to, I just registered. I know there's a lot of different things going on, but do you know in this state of who I should vote for if I want to go vote for being progressive and making sure that everyone is recognized instead of, what we have going on right now?
I'm sorry, did I miss something? What was your question specifically?
Who should I vote for in the primaries going on like in November? In Florida.
Didn't you guys just have, when is the Florida primaries?
If I missed it, then that is my fault. And if I did, I will drop.
Let's see. You may have a later one. There's some states that have August primaries. So yours is okay, August. So you're good.
Gotcha.
Let me see. Election date. Okay, so your registration deadline, I'm assuming you're already registered. That will be July 20th. So
I
you
am.
have time. It's okay. So the primary is August. You have several races up. Obviously, the biggest one being governor. I'm actually not the most familiar with Florida politics specifically, but what I can do, actually, I have a fantastic video for you. Give me a second.
I love that. Thank you.
So, us as content creators, we cover a lot of shit.
For sure.
And
for sure.
I try to do what I can in other states, but at the same time, Texas got enough fucking issues. So let me. Sure. There's a creator. Her name is Tabria Majors, which is funny. I'm gonna snitch on myself a little bit. So Tabria Majors is like, she's an absolute baddie, right? She's a model I used to follow when I was younger because I just thought she was hot. Right? I thought she was hot. And I deleted my old Instagram years ago, and I only have my professional ones. So that was just kind of the end of that. Fast forward to 2 weeks ago, I'm scrolling through my FYP. I see her show up in my FYP. Now she's talking politics. She's doing breakdowns, midterm breakdowns by states of the best candidates and what to look for. And I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. So there's that. But let me see if she did one for Florida.
Yeah, I'm trying to be more informed.
See this
I'm
one.
too old to say I'm still young. I'm just not doing the right things, bro. I need to start contributing to my society,
What's her name? Tabria Majors. Hold on. Tabria Majors. I can pull it up on the screen, actually. Hold on.
For sure, please.
Let's do... First off, you guys should follow her regardless. But let me pull up this video.
I will. And then as you pulling it up, I'll say, bro, I appreciate everything you do. You a GOAT. I love to see Black excellence, doing their thing.
I appreciate that, man.
Keep doing what you do.
Need more of us.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not I'm not informed enough to be there, but one day I will be. I'm not, 50 like you, so I'll get there.
50 like me is fucking crazy. Absolutely fucking diabolical. That's some crazy shit right there. See, this why niggas can't get along. Okay. So we have, let's see, Georgia, Alabama. What state is this one? Idaho, Louisiana, Virginia, West Virginia, Nebraska, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Mississippi, North Carolina. Fuck, she didn't do one for
It's
Florida
not mean,
yet.
bro. He's bald, so he got it.
Listen, man, I've accepted my unk status. It is what it is. I've accepted
Yeah, you got it,
my
bro. You
unk
got it.
status.
You're that guy, bro. You're that guy.
Let me do this because it doesn't look like she has anything up just yet. I know people who have the information.
Sucks.
But I don't have it at the top of my head, and I don't. My super smart Florida people aren't even here.
I'm sorry, Ben Sims.
Are you following Dan Malik?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because he's in Florida. But I'm gonna get back to you on this one actually, because I don't have this information like readily available. I'm gonna get back to you on that. I followed you on my backup, so you should be expecting a DM. I'm not even gonna tell you 24 hours. I'm late.
Do your thing, bro.
Within a week.
I know how to go.
Within a week,
your
I'll
thing,
definitely
bro.
get something for you in regards to help you out, and you have time to be fair. So there's that.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, bro. Thank you for sure.
Yeah, not a problem. Hey, you take it easy, man.
Yeah, for sure. Drop me down. I mean, I can figure it out.
I got you.
I got.
Somebody as old as me, man. If black people didn't have a sense, if I didn't have a sense of humor, if I did not, oopsie, have a sense of humor. No, that was funny. WCU, bro. WCU. You guys still should follow Tabria Majors. I'll put it down here in the chat again because I think it's super duper awesome when people use their knowledge and their prettiness to advocate for progressive policies. That's a fucking W. All right. Hi, Palpable. Got a question for me?
Actually, I'm here for the invisible prompt. I
Okay.
just wanted to point out that, well, I personally don't see the reason for using it. It all has to do with stigma. Unhoused is to show that it is a systemic issue in our society, while homeless has the stigma of it being the person's fault that they're on the streets. I don't think it works. I think it just confuses people. The chat thinks it just confuses people. I've almost been homeless myself. I don't think it would have made a difference calling it unhoused. But we like to try new things. And it is a systemic issue. It's just not bad messaging.
I was just going to say, that's one of those things where I get what you're trying to do. Keep that shit to yourself. I'm sorry. I don't think that fucking helps anything or anyone. Come on.
I totally agree with you. I just came up here to answer the question you had.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I appreciate you coming up. Yeah.
Yep.
I think that shit's stupid. I'm sorry. I think that shit's stupid. We already have issues with seeming like or straight up talking above the average person's head. We already have a huge issue there. So why in the fuck are we trying to incorporate this new stuff like unhoused? And to me, it's one thing if we're talking about like certain slurs and shit like that. It's like, okay, hey, like another popular one on this app, Santana does this heavily, and I understand why. So I'm not coming for Santana or anything like that. But DUMB, right? I say it. I'm not gonna lie. DUMB. That's technically, if we're looking at the classification of what they considered people as, that could be considered a thing. I don't think it's to the same degree, but it's somewhat in the same classification as RETA, right? But based off of how it's casually used, and I'm not saying the casual usage makes it okay, but I don't put that word and then the R word in the same category in no way, shape, or form. There's other people that do. I like that. I respect it. I get it. You're trying to move better. But I'm not looking at the average person who calls someone DUMB as saying things in a certain way. That one's going to be a hard sell for me. But I get it. I always like love and respect a group of people that are trying to do better than our ancestors. They're trying to do better than people who came before us. But oh my God, I feel like sometimes if that shit was to get on the like the debate stages in the broader scale of our politics, we would be more fucked than we are now, because people are just gonna look at you like you're crazy. Absolutely look at you like you're crazy. I think it's very complicated. I think it's super duper complicated. It's kind of like I'll make this a black thing now. It's kind of like when I hear people say blacks, right? Let me be clear. That shit sounds weird. White people, everyone, that shit sounds weird. But I remember when I used to do Uber, I picked up this guy one night. I can't even say his name or anything, but funny enough, he was in a pretty prominent position. He was actually considering running for the governor of the state this year. But I picked him up and he was talking about a Jewish and black coalition. He was from New York. He talked about this one specific era where basically everything was handy dandy. Granted, this came from a white person's lens, so it could have been heavily fucking biased, but I digress. I understand the sentiment. And he was talking about how, us Jews and blacks, these Jews and blacks, we came together, we was cool, and all this different stuff. And every time he said blacks, I was just like, it was cringy. It was cringy as fuck. Black sounds weird as fuck. It's like black people. I would just say black people. But I know what he means. I understand the point he's trying to get across. So I overlooked it, right? I overlooked it. I'm like, I get what you're trying to say. You're trying to talk about unity. I don't want to make this an issue of you not adding one word there when you're clearly talking about this, right? So it's just one of those things where, on one hand, I'm not going to tell anyone to don't talk about what makes you uncomfortable. Obviously, always voice your positions. I'm one of those people where I'm very selective about it. I'm just like, if I say this one thing, I know where this conversation could go. Or better yet, I don't want to miss the overall point. So I eat a lot of shit. I would never ask the new generation to eat the shit that I do. I wouldn't. Sorry. I just, nope. Any case, let's move on to the next guest. I'm so sorry. I did not see you in the request. If you're still here, I'm not sure if you load up. How, Jay? Got a question for me?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sign on.
Accidental? I got you. Can you do me a favor before I drop you down? God damn it. He's gone already. Never mind. If you have a question for me, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, you may request up in the box or call in the number on screen on the YouTube side, 737-295-5321. 87, what's up? Got a question for me?
I do. Today I have a bit of a sillier question, and then I actually have a couple questions in regards about laws. So the silly question I have is, which musician, either current or historical, would you engage in fisticuffs with, and why?
Which individual? You said famous?
Musician.
Which musician I was engaged in fisticuffs with?
Yeah, either historic or current, and why?
This is a tough one between Morgan Wallen and Kanye West. Morgan Wallen's irrelevant. Kanye West. I would engage in some fisticuffs with Kanye West. That man needs some. You know what? Okay. I was about to say something that people were about to criticize me for. I'm going to tell you what I was about to say because I don't give a fuck. But it technically can be considered as. I have lefties that follow me. I was about to say that man needs an ass whooping that no amount of medical therapy or medication could fix. Correction. He needs an ass whooping to correct his issue that no amount of medication or therapy can fix. It's a joke. I am joking. Okay, chill out. I am joking. But yeah, the man just went into anti-blackness. That man went straight into Nazi. Like that man, I would absolutely engage in some fisticuffs with him, bro. He needs to chill out.
Good. And then the first question I have is, which law, article, act, or what have you, if you had the ability to, would you revoke? what would be if you had only the ability to revoke one or dismantle one, which would it be?
Fuck, I need time to think on that one. Because it wouldn't be anything recent. It would have to go back to I feel like there's so many more that I would put over this if it can come to the top of my head. But if I was to just go off the top of my head, what made Citizens United a thing? Regarding
Citizens
these,
United would be mine too.
regarding considering these corporations people is fucking stupid. Like, I don't know how that, actually I do know how that passed, corporate influence. But yeah. And I feel like there could be bigger issues in regards to civil rights and stuff that I can think of, but it would take me more time to flesh it out. But the one off the top of my head would be that one. That would be the one off the top of my head.
That is an excellent choice. Like I said, that would also be my choice, to be perfectly honest. Or like the Patriot Act or something.
That's a good one. That's a good point. That is a very good point. Jeff's back. All right, got any other questions for me or recommendations?
Actually, speaking of the last recommendation that I gave you, it's the author is a journalist that's been working for the BBC for multiple decades. So I promise I'm not giving you just some random dude with a microphone wrote a book options. I promise I'm giving you actually good, just to defend my honor. The other question that I had was the trickle-down economics a bill that you know of, or how was that actually put into place? I just thought of that question. I never even considered it.
It would have been a tax policy. I'm unaware of it. Here's here's someone who can answer this really good for you. Hi, Erica.
Hi. So trickle-down economics, it was actually put into place. It was a tax policy that Ronald Reagan had once heard of, and he put it into place. And the reason why is because he thought if we gave big tax cuts to corporations, that they would take that money and put it back into their employees. But they saw the opposite effect. They actually saw the wealth gap grow. I believe it was over 70% during the 1980s because of trickle-down economics. It's awful.
Is that still in place?
Yes, that's what Donald Trump is currently doing. It's trickle-down economics. They give big tax cuts to the rich and to the wealthy, and they think that there's some way somehow are going to put that money back into the middle and the lower class. Well, the middle and the working class, and they don't. So no. But yeah, every Republican president since Ronald Reagan has done what we call trickle-down economics.
Okay, that was actually what I think confused me, because I wasn't sure. I knew what it did. I just wasn't sure how it was implemented and why it still seemed to be implemented. But that would make sense, that they're just copying off his homework, basically.
Yeah. So that's what we've had because it benefits the rich.
All right. Great. Love that for us. I always have more recommendations, but I will leave you with a few that I have given you for now. And that is all I have for questions for now.
Thank you so much for coming up. You enjoy the rest of your night.
You too. It's always a pleasure.
Friendly reminder, guys. The national debt, I believe, about triple or a little more than tripled under Reagan because of that. He started this whole thing.
Yep. Oh, I learned something the other night. Well, just actually this morning. Is Jeff a person that has a question for you? I can shush.
Go ahead. Jeff's cool.
Okay. All right. So
he told me I look 50, so he can wait.
I already knew about the deal that the United States made with Saudi Arabia to basically establish the petrodollar. So what had happened was in the early 1970s, the United States was still on the gold standard, and we basically, I think we owed either double or triple the amount in debt than we had in gold. So basically, like our dollar was worthless. And so Reagan had Kissinger go over to Saudi Arabia during I think it was 1973 or 1974, but it was during the oil embargo when gas prices were like sky high and we didn't have any oil. We had no gas because of it. But Kissinger went over to Saudi Arabia and they negotiated a deal where they actually said, okay, sell the oil in US dollars, right? And what we'll do is we will fund you with weapons and we'll make sure that you're always protected. What we have to understand is that is really why the United States did not go after Saudi Arabia during 9/11. Like after 9/11 happened, remember the majority of the people that conducted that act came from Saudi Arabia? That is why. All right, we didn't want to lose that money because they trade oil and they sell oil in the US dollar. So with that being said, Nixon, he was a piece of poo. We all know that. And he also was a mouth-frothing racist. Nixon, at the same time, though, actually saved the American economy. Because of the petrodollar, that's how the United States is able to go into so much debt. We have almost $40 trillion in debt right now. And our deficit is it at 2 trillion or is it still a little under 2 trillion? It's a lot of goddamn money. But that is why we're able to do it. And it's because of Nixon's deal with the Saudis in the 70s that took us off of the gold standard and put us on the petrodollar.
6,000%. The more you guys know.
Fun stuff.
The more you guys know. Still fuck that man. I think someone else could have said
Yeah,
this.
pretty much.
All right. Jeff, what do you got?
God bless you.
Hey, I know you're not that old, you know. I'm turning 30 this year. You felt that a couple decades ago, but just want to say, like the live. Hey guys, I learned a lot from these guys. I'm not gonna ask for the info. These people know too much. I feel like fuck I just listen to them.
Is he breaking up for anyone else?
Do what you need to do.
Yeah, his Wi-Fi is anxious.
Hold on. Oh my God, stop it.
But it is though.
You know, I think it's crazy how bro tried to come from my age, but bro on that Truth Social G.
You got the MAGA Wi-Fi.
On that MAGA Wi-Fi, bro. That's crazy, bro. Go and fix that issue, man. Go and fix that issue, man. Appreciate you. Alrighty, guys. If you have a question for me, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, you may request up in the box. You're the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. And if you're over on the tube side, you may call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. Got a guest here. Oh boy. MAGA World 66 got a question for me?
They don't do anything but come up and do stuff like this, Hector. They'll either play music or they'll make weird noises.
So, brain dead. Got it.
Yeah.
Good to know. That was weird. Let's go over this story really quickly. Oh, fuck. As soon as I said that, this guy's here.
Hey, Hector.
Hey, Jawindi, you got a question for me?
Yeah, I do. I'm usually in Maddie's lives a lot too, but I do have a question for you. What is the difference between a progressive and a typical Democrat? I'm just curious. Learning.
Progressives not only show more criticism, but ways to significantly restrict, if not straight up abolish, capitalism. But they're also much stronger on civil rights. I guess less not concessive. Is that a fucking word?
Not socialist though, right? You're not like a socialist.
No, I'm not a socialist. Okay. I know a lot of.
I just always hear these freaking MAGAs always say progressives are socialists. So I'm just curious what the difference was.
I mean,
that's all.
Yeah, a lot of progressives are socialists. Democratic socialists would be considered progressive. Yes.
Okay.
But still, there would be.
What's wrong with socialists?
I don't have a problem with socialists.
I know you don't.
Yeah. I think he was more so talking about Republicans.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying
I think
I support Maddie all the time. I don't want to like get in trouble or anything. I just had a serious question. That's all. I just was curious. I'm just trying to learn, and I'm not a huge political person, but trying to figure out and find my way. So I appreciate you answering my question.
Yeah, appreciate you. But yeah, basically that would be the big thing. I think if we look at one easy determining factor to show the differences would be capitalism and how people feel about it. People like Joe Biden, even Kamala Harris, they were pretty staunch capitalists versus other individuals such as Zohar Mamdani, who's willing, yes, to work within the system because he really doesn't have a choice, but he's still utilizing it in taxes to get universal pre-K, the grocery run stores, I always forget how to pronounce this damn term. I'm going to get it right. The new tax that he recently passed that was supposed to get an additional 500 million or billion in revenue. But yeah, I appreciate you coming up, man.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate you.
I think more and more I identify with socialism, not communism, but socialism. But I don't think that we'll have socialism here. We might can do social democracy. Stacey, are you okay with life? Jeez.
Well, guys, it wouldn't be a Hector Talk stream if we didn't have some random white dude come up and nut to my face.
Oh, golly, jeez. Bubba, cover your ears. Mr. Hector's saying weird stuff again.
I don't know
He
what to
didn't
tell
hear
you.
you, so that's good.
They do this every stream. There's almost someone every stream who comes up here, breathing heavy, palms sweaty, doing that shit. And I get it. But this is not the place. I get it, but it's not the place. All right, let me go over this story. Let's see. To the Louisiana people, pay attention. Inside the Louisiana bill that critics say would enact forced labor for unhoused people, advocates for... I'm going to be fucking saying homeless. I'm sorry. Advocates for homeless individuals are warning about a new bill moving its way through the Louisiana legislature. The bill, part of a larger trend of laws that critics say are meant to criminalize homelessness, creates... See, if you're going to say homelessness instead of unhousedness, why the fuck are we... This is stupid. Creates a situation whereby individuals without homes could be forced to pay for treatment or be jailed and subjected to mandatory labor. The bill is being compared to slavery for homeless people. I mean, do we know what happened to the homeless people who were cleaned up in D.C. when Donald Trump had the National Guard going there taking apart their tents? They went to the detention centers. Where are they at now? Think about that. Common Dreams reported that the Louisiana House of Representatives passed House Bill 211 by a 70-28 vote. The bill would make it a crime to sleep in an unauthorized public area, with those convicted of a first offense subjected to a punishment of up to 6 months in prison / and/or a fine up to $500. The punishments for repeat offenders increased to 1 to 2 years imprisonment and a $1,000 fine. Those convicted of the crime can avoid jail time. Oh, shit. Those convicted of the crime can avoid jail time by entering a 12-month-long treatment program, with the bill authorizing treatment camps in remote areas. Individuals taking the treatment option would have to pay for all or part of the cost of the treatment program to which he is assigned, and those who cannot afford this would instead have to perform unpaid labor instead of payment. Woo! Holy shit. And this passed the House?
Yikes.
70-28? Holy shit. Thank you guys for the follows. Wow. As the National Homelessness Law Center posted on X, formerly Twitter, Louisiana has advanced one of the cruelest anti-homeless bills in the country. It would force homeless people to choose between jail and involuntary treatment, make them pay for it, and if they can't pay, force them to perform unpaid labor. Just because you're in the treatment program, how are you supposed to get a job? How are you supposed to get a job to pay for it? Is this treatment program also rehabilitation?
I don't like the sound of bodily functions. Is you cool? That's awful legislation. Like that is criminalizing houselessness, homelessness, like whichever word you want to use. That's sick. Why are we not tapping this dog as well? Why are we not like putting like the money that they're gonna waste locking people up? Why don't they just put money into actually creating, like, let's say, housing for people?
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at I'm sorry.
I know what
I was
you're
reading
laughing
the
at.
fucking comments. Oh my God. This is a serious moment. This is a serious moment. This is a serious moment. Exactly what Erica
Focus,
just said.
Hector, lock in.
Exactly what Erica just said. We're going to be spending money for this. And I guess we're going to get it back by making people slaves.
Yep.
And then it's just a treatment program. So it's not like it's a full-blown rehabilitation thing. Like when we talk about Kamala Harris's Back on Track program in the state of California, that was aid in several different departments, including education and job placement, job training to help you get into fields, right? So all of that was helped to make you a contributing member of society. This is just a treatment program to fix your addiction or whatever, and then you have to go figure it out afterwards. This is fucking crazy. Housing, not handcuffs. That's a great sign. This is crazy. And the fact that it was it's Louisiana. I guess Louisiana's pretty red. A 70-28 vote in the House? Jesus Christ. If people had the resources to pay for housing and physical and or mental health services, they would not be on the street. Loyola University, New Orleans, Gillis Long Poverty Center Director Bill Quigley told Common Dreams, calling the provision a farce. Advocates in New Orleans point toward rising housing costs as a major cause of homelessness, literally across the country. Yes. Democratic New Orleans City Council member Leslie Harris touted the success of the New Orleans Homes for Good program as an alternative. The program has moved over 1,000 people into housing and allowed for the closure of 8 homeless encampments. Harris noted, all at the cost of $21,844 per person per year, less than half the cost of incarcerating an individual. Math! Republicans do not have fiscally responsible solutions. Ever.
No, not at all. They will spend more money just to be cruel.
W's to the one mighty pen for bringing this to my attention. Let me tag the Louisiana folks in the Discord actually, because this is huge. We're gonna need to see a bit more calling of the representatives for this one. Look at this. W's to you, one mighty pen. Appreciate that. That is a crazy story.
Everyone, drop some W's in the chat. My bestie is here. Drop some W's for Dan Malik.
Dan, you here? The cruelty is the point. Yes, Dan. So, if you have a moment, I have an individual here who is in the state of Florida who is wanting some guidance on midterm elections and where to lean his vote. Obviously, you got to do your own due diligence, but I figured you being in the region, you can be very helpful in helping him with some starters. If you have a moment. If not, I understand. I told him I'll send them some information later. But yeah, that's some dark shit. I'm curious to see what Democrats have to say about that. I mean, not Democrats, Republicans have to say about that. Because, well, never mind. Their base has to say about that. Because there's no way you can justify this. I don't see how. But then again, this is coming from the base of people that honestly believe that people who are homeless are there by choice. I do have a moment, but I haven't looked into the primary yet. Got you. No problem. That's actually fucking crazy. I'm not gonna lie. That shit kind of threw me off a little bit. That's really dark. That's some dark fucking shit. I'm sorry, Jeff. Go ahead.
Is my Wi-Fi better? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, guys, share the live, like the live. Hector's the GOAT. He said it first. Do all the good things, not Erica. You guys are dope.
You don't want to do that.
I just like to see your face. Nah, you guys are dope, bro. I learned a lot listening to you guys, and I'm excited to be here. So, hey, guys, do all the good things. Shout out Erica. Love it.
Shout out to Jeff.
You step on dangerous territory, nigga. I was gonna save you from that one. I was not gonna help you with that one. Nope. Oh, y'all are funny people.
Shauna!
Y'all are funny people. What up? What up? Hola, peeps. Hola,
If
peeps.
I could just do like a little sidebar,
Mm-hmm.
like designing stuff isn't easy. Like having to find like the right fonts and whatnot is not easy.
Font is
Like,
huge. Yes.
yeah, font is so important. It's so important. I'm about to cry.
I'm not sure how the
God
site
bless
you
you.
use works. It could be better. Thank you, Joey, for the sunglasses. WCU. DLB, got a question for me?
I design in Canva and then go from there.
I don't think he meant to come up. You designed Canva. DLB, got a question for me? I'm assuming you didn't mean to come up. I'm just going to drop you down. If you have a question for me, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, you may request up in the box. You're the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with, whether it's about current politics, my personal standpoints, or anything else. That is the avenue for you to ask that question. I'll answer it to the best of my ability. If you're over on the tube side, you may call the number on screen, and that's going to be 737-295-5321. Shit, there was something I was going over. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, everything, I don't make anything in that, but I mean, when it comes to placement, and then the fact that what I hate is that it doesn't give you the option to put your thing on one piece of merch, and then maybe there's a sidebar that says, hey, do you want to put this on a mug? Hey, do you want to put this on some shorts? Hey, do you want to put this on this? And then it would just transfer over, and then you just move it. I have to go into a piece of cloth or a cup or a tumbler or whatever manually, and then do it again, and then do it again, and do it. It's so for one thing, for literally one line, it can take me hours just to get it on 6 to 8 pieces of merch, especially for including the design process. It's so annoying. It's so annoying.
Highly. I agree. I must go on.
Yes, they are tapping this evening. Okay, I think we're getting into troll territory because I don't think this person
God bless you.
is like real. Thank you, Addie, for the raving snail. I've never seen that one before. This person probably just came up to nut. Never mind. Came up to nut is crazy. That's what they be doing, though. That's what they be doing. Yeah, I'm sorry. The second you come up on my panel, turning on your camera, you gotta go. I don't like that. I don't like that shit at all. I don't like that shit. Don't just come up to people's panels and turn on your cameras. Because first off, there's the people who like to show their 3 inches, and then the other people who just want to be weird. Or think that they're a fucking star of your show. I hate that shit with a passion. Joel Patrick. W's in the chat to Joey for the $10 Venmo. Fuck you. Laughing emoji. That was it.
That was good.
That was it. I don't know why I have such I was about to lie. I was actually about to lie. I was about to lie and say I don't know why I have such an aggressive base if I don't talk shit to y'all on a daily basis. I was about to lie. I'm glad I caught myself.
Thank you, Joey. Love you more. I'll see you later tonight.
W Joey. In case this may be the end, guys, and we're 17 minutes from the 3-hour mark.
This is the end.
Don't fuck with me, y'all. Don't fuck with me. I can cut it.
I have an idea.
What?
TikTok's not gonna like it, but I'm just gonna let you know you could do it depending on how you do it, how you do your thingy. Just Stay live and talk to the people on the YouTube and take calls over there. I guarantee you'll get all the calls over there. It's so much fun. I'm doing that again on Sunday.
And I'm not getting the calls.
And then once I figure out how to like allow people to join on YouTube, bruh, it's gonna be on like popcorn.
You can use StreamYard, right?
Yeah, you can. I just don't feel like figuring out how you do it.
I think that would be just like a what monitor you do it thing, and then an audio routing thing, I guess.
Did you say audio?
Audio routing, yeah.
Oh God.
God bless you.
Which I know that's always the annoying part. Thank you, Queen Sniper. Yeah. That's the reason I haven't. Vincent sent me some information on something that he uses. Someone else sent me some information on things that they use. I just don't. Yo, I go into a bad headspace figuring out all that audio shit. I'll be sitting there depressed. So I just don't want to deal with it. I have to, because it really helps to have guests talk to callers and callers talk to guests. Specifically when they bring up shit that I feel like other people are better equipped for. But it's a lot. And I had it all set up until that stupid app updated. So I'm not happy about it.
It's crazy that it did that and then you have to change your whole thing around. That is wicked.
And it was the fact that I uninstalled it and reinstalled it. Kept the exact same settings. It was an issue. And that's why I uninstalled it. I said, even if I do fix this, I do not trust this software.
So. Yeah, that's fair.
Boo. This is an unknown number, so it ought to be fun.
Call from
Xavier.
Xavier on the line. Got a question for me?
Yes, I do have a question. Good evening.
Good evening.
Who do you think was a better president, Obama or Biden?
So I'm going to say Biden, but that is not to sleep on Obama, because essentially there would be no Biden without Obama. So I guess I could technically say, I can say Obama in terms of what he paved the way for, but in terms of actual, to some degree, application, I guess Biden.
Why would you pick Biden over Obama?
Because Biden did very good things overall for the country. I think the Infrastructure Act was monumental. Things that he couldn't quite get done through the legislative branch, specifically in regards to the Justice and Policing Act, George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, he picked up on through executive action that kind of coupled or imitated things that took place in the Fair Sentencing Act. I think when it came to police accountability, a board that he had that Trump repealed, that was fantastic. I think that what he did with the ACA and Medicaid, being able to cap the price of 10 life-saving substances and insulin inhalers, was pretty incredible. The student loan forgiveness that he gave, he's the president who's given the most money to HBCUs. I think he was a fantastic president when it comes to a lot of domestic policy specifically, versus the Obama administration, which, not that Obama did a terrible job, he did a great job, but more closer to what I want, where I guess progressive leaning people are headed towards, a Biden would have that record. And that says a lot, because I don't like Biden. Fewer drone strikes, yeah. That's true, Dan. I'm sorry, what?
So you like the handouts that Biden gave to everybody?
What handouts are you referencing?
Everything that you talked about, though, like the college, the people that owes college.
You think student loan forgiveness is a handout?
Of course, it is. It's a handout. You know what you went to college for. You know that college is not free, and you didn't, and you probably didn't even get your degree, whatever you went in for. You probably didn't even get your career that you wanted to get, but you still got a handout. You still got forgiven for it.
Under the Trump administration, we currently have not HHS, the Department of Education. They're currently in litigation with colleges and institutions that scammed Americans, artificially inflating their prices, jacking up their prices to not match the quality of education and courses and whatnot that they provided. Through this, they provided an avenue for these individuals to have their student loans forgiven. Of course, it's being held up because they cut half of the fucking employees at the department. It could take another year. But this was something that was taking place under the Biden-Harris administration and followed up into the Trump administration that they're even upholding. Biden decided to take it an additional step, not only to forgive the student loan forgiveness of those individuals who were specifically scammed, but to Americans overall who went to college to get their degree and then since then have spent months to years, even in some cases, I won't say a decade, but going up that way, getting a job in their field because of the crash of the economy, because of all these other factors. I don't think a president helping Americans start a new life, not start a new life, get a clean slate regards to student loan debt is a bad thing. I don't know why you would.
So Biden helping all these illegal immigrants as well. When they cross the border, they got free health care. They got free. They lived in 5-star hotels in New York City, all the blue states. Let's just put it like that. So that was a good handout for them as well. They haven't even paid not even 1 penny in taxes.
Before I address what you just said on immigration, I just want to point out the fact that Donald Trump loves handout. He just gives it to the rich 1%. So I find it interesting that you're nitpicking the ones that benefit the average American. But I digress. In regards to immigration, undocumented migrants were not given handouts by the Biden-Harris administration. They were not staying in 5-star hotels that was paid for by the government. No, that's not the case. Any undocumented migrant that would have gotten federal funding to stay in a place when they got to the United States would have been through legal processes such as asylum. And then everything else would be NGOs, which are not directly funded by the federal government, because that would be against the law.
Well, they broke the law then. Under Biden, they broke all the laws in the world with fake names and fake addresses, all the children that are missing
what you just
after they cross the
criticized
border.
about them staying in quote-unquote 5-star hotels was
I
not
live in New
true,
York. I'm from New York,
but
my
it
friend,
also,
and they were
I'm
there.
aware of where you're from. I don't know what you think that has to do with making your statements true.
But I'm seeing it, but now you're lying to your viewers.
Were the
Now you're lying to
only
your viewers
groups
saying
of
that
people.
it's not true. It is true.
I am saying it's not true. And I'm saying that objectively, and you cannot contest it outside of your opinion that you pulled out of your dirty ass. So with that being said,
I got a clean ass, first of all, and you know what?
I bet you
There is
think
proof.
so.
There's a lot of.
When's the last time you put it up there? When's the last time you put it up there and cleaned anything but the surface?
What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Now you want to talk about anus?
Exactly.
You love anus. You love anus that much. Now
Exactly. Your answer just told me every fucking thing I need to know. Your answer just told me everything I needed to know. Ain't nobody who only goes on the surface with a rag and then puts that same rag on their face gonna tell me that they got a clean ass. But I digress. I don't care how shitty it is. You're wrong. Asylum seekers in the state of New York, many of them that were pushed over from the state of Texas and flooded New York because Greg Abbott decided to send them over there illegally and take the federal funding he was given to handle it, stayed in abandoned hotels, or ones that were not active, that were not even 4-star. So you're wrong.
They were active, my friend. They were active. They were all active, and
again, active for the public, active for the public, and to other ones that would have got a kickback for allowing them to stay there. That again would have been a legal process and would have been cheaper than some of these other centers. They weren't given hotel treatments, ordering up room service, watching TV, and all this shit. That's not true. That's not a thing.
Oh, they were getting free food, correct?
That would be a part of their funding. Asylum seeking is a legal process.
From our taxes.
I'm sorry. Are you complaining about legal immigrants now?
No, illegal immigrants.
Asylum seeking is a legal process.
What asylum?
Asylum seeking is a legal process.
That was a bullshit excuse to let over 2 million.
Is asylum?
Under Biden.
I'm sorry. How many people claimed asylum under the Biden administration? Or better yet, not even claimed it. Got it approved.
Over 2 million.
Where are your numbers for that?
You know what?
Where are your numbers for that?
How many?
Where are your numbers for that?
You can look it up in Google. You can look it up in CNN.
You can look it up. You're the one who made the claim.
Because
Because you seem to be under the belief that asylum only was created under Biden. And that Biden was the only person who was following asylum law and allocating federal funding to said process because it's legal.
So you don't remember all the reports of all these immigrants just coming
I
in
remember
with
all the
no
reports
ID.
that Republicans blew out of proportion. You're here to make, you made a specific claim. I need you to tell me where it was 2 million people.
2 million people. It's everywhere. You could go to Google, CNN, BC. You could go
Yeah,
to
I can't do much. But okay, so check this out. I don't know why you guys say that because it makes you look worse. If these reports are everywhere, that means it should take you absolutely no effort whatsoever to find me one.
I could tell you Google.
You can tell me Google is a search engine, not a source. Did you know that? Bet you didn't. Can you tell me where your source is on 2 million?
CBT.gov.
Can you tell me where on cbp.gov did it show 2 million people were granted asylum under the Biden-Harris administration?
Just put Biden immigrants, illegal immigrants crossing the borders under Biden.
And that's where you found it?
You could go to DHS.gov.
And that's where you found it?
CBP.gov. Yeah.
And that's where you found it?
I go to the government websites. They all say the same thing.
So that means if you go to the government website right now and you search by the methodology you just told me to search for,
and I'll tell you,
you will find this 2 million number.
On the Trump, the illegal immigrants went out.
That's no, that's not what you said.
90%.
Hey, that's not. Nope.
No, I'm
you
telling you
need
at
to
the
tell
same
me.
time.
I don't care what you're
it's gonna
telling
say
me.
what I said.
I
It's gonna
need
tell
you to
that
prove
as
your
well.
claim of 2 million people that were granted asylum under the Biden administration per cbp.gov. You said it's easy. I need you to direct me to it. And you're going to direct me to it by doing it yourself. And then after you do it, I'm going to follow behind you and show it. And I'm going to show it to all 400 people watching on both platforms.
Just look it up, bro. You'll see it.
I don't think you're listening to the words coming out of my mouth. I'm going to look it up after you do it so I can show it to everyone. I just need you to do it.
Did.
No, you do it now.
Did.
You do it now. Sure you do.
No, I'm not going to do it now.
Oh, then you're full of shit. Congratulations. No one gives a fuck about what you believe and pulled out of your dirty ass for the second time around. I don't care. I don't care about your hypotheticals. I don't care about your lies. You've never been to cbp.gov a day in your fucking life. Okay, cool. Tell me what the encounters, the total encounters under the Biden-Harris administration was for his entire administration per cbp.gov. Wrong.
11 million. 11 million.
Wrong.
That was the encounters.
Wrong.
Don't bullshit.
Give me the specific number. Give me the specific number. I need the specific
11
number.
million. That's all I can
Wrong.
say.
Give me the specific number.
That's the rough estimate. Rough estimate is 11 million.
Oh, okay. I didn't ask you for your rough estimate. I asked you to tell me what cbp.gov does.
126.
I asked you to tell me what cbp.gov says. The site that you said you go to all the time.
11 million.
Wrong.
I don't know the exact number.
You're
want
wrong.
Me to go down,
once again.
Down to the penny?
You're wrong.
I'm wrong.
I told you to give
okay.
me the exact number.
11. I'm close to 11 million. The price is right.
Oh, now it's close. Okay, cool. Got you. You can't tell me the specific number.
I have to tell you by the penny. Look at it. You're trying to get an argument.
What was Donald Trump's encounter rate or encounters for the month of January?
126,000.
126,000 for what?
Encounters.
For what?
On the 2025 versus the present now. You're laughing because I'm telling the truth.
I'm sorry.
I'm nervous.
Did you say that encounters for the entire year of 2025 under the Trump administration per cbp.gov was 126,000?
Yes.
How much money you got in your bank account?
Thousandaire.
You a thousandaire? You a thousandaire? Bet 100 on that right now.
Just like
Bet 100 on that right now. Bet 100 on that right now. Nice pivot. Nice pivot. Bet 100 on that right now.
Just like your woman.
Bet 100 on that right now.
Thousandaire.
Bet 100 on that right now.
$1,000.
Bet $100 on your claim.
I'm not gonna bet shit with you. I don't even know
Oh,
you.
because you know you're full of shit.
Because you know why? If I win,
Because
if I
you know
win,
you're full
all
of
you're
shit.
gonna do is laugh, that nervous laugh again.
If you win, you're gonna get paid. But you're too much of a bitch. Bet 100 on it right now.
No, I'm not gonna bet 100.
Okay, because you're broke
I'm not
and
gonna-
you don't know
I
what you're
don't
talking
bet.
about.
I don't bet. I don't even gamble.
Oh, you don't bet on things you win.
do.
You don't bet on things you'll win.
Nope, I don't bet on nothing.
Yeah.
I just tell you the fact.
Because
or I'm
you're a
close to the
weak
fact.
ass,
But I'm
lying
not
ass,
bullshitting.
pussy ass little bitch who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about,
so
and
you
your
gamble
ass
then.
stinks. It's unfortunate.
Then you gamble.
I bet Trump supporters every single time they say bold-faced bullshit claims, and then every single time I tell them to put money on it, all their audacity goes out the window.
Was I off?
Hey.
Was I off?
Time and time again.
want
Put
to
100 on
bet
it.
because you
Put
have-
100 on it.
you
We'll
have
find out if
computers
you're
in front of
off. Put 100 on it and we'll find out how off you are.
No, put $100.
Then shut the fuck up. Then shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Every single goddamn time. Every single goddamn time you tell a Trump supporter to put money on it, that happens. That happens. All the audacity. I'm raw. You could be blah, blah, blah. Put money on it. I'm not I don't, you know. Or you ever heard remember the last guy who did this with? I don't want to take money out of you because you're like poor liberal or whatever. Every fucking time. Every fucking time you tell them put money on it, this happens.
No,
Hey, stupid. Are you ready to continue to be a bitch and look stupid in front of 400 people watching?
Go ahead, idiot.
I mean, I can allow you to continue to have the floor. That's fine.
Go ahead. You muted me like a bitch. Go ahead.
Put money on it. I am going ahead.
I'm not
Put
gonna
money
put
on it.
nothing on it.
Then
I'll
shut
put a
the
pen.
fuck up. Anyways. If you guys have a question that you'd like to ask the progressive, no matter what side of the political spectrum that you're on, you may request up in the box or call in the number on screen, 737-295-5321. That phone number is only on the YouTube side, because if you're on the TikTok side, you may request up in the box. So sick of these people saying this shit. I'm so sick of these people. Absolutely sick of these people. CBP.gov. It's not hard to tell, like some of these folks listen into these lives, so they hear other people cite things, and then they go, "Oh, that's the thing to say in this moment." And then what happens? Well, how did you get to that? If you'd have asked them, tell me, if you'd have asked me right now, how to pull up the national encounter rate on CBP.gov. Literally all you do, check this out, all you do is you type in, or this is what I do, I type in CBP national or nationwide encounters. The first tab is going to take you directly to the national encounters, not just at the southern border. You can look up those specifics in a different metric. It's just going to show you all the encounters across the United States. And I like that number specifically, because it doesn't only count the southwest border. That's where every fucking Republican likes to hyper focus on because they don't like brown people. But you look at the nationwide encounters, because undocumented migrants come in from other fucking places, and then you're going to see that overall number. Easy to find. These people just say CBP.gov. It's embarrassing. Yes, anyone can come up to ask questions. You can be a liberal, you can be a Democrat, you can be a conservative, you can be whatever. If you have a question for me, you may request up. This is that open space live. Starting tomorrow, we'll be returning back to the regular ones. What do you say, Erica?
I said, oh God, my ears.
Starting tomorrow, now I'm going to make more. Starting tomorrow.
No, I was like totally annoying myself yesterday, and someone in the chat was like, "Oh my gosh, the mouth noises tonight." I was like, "Bitch," but I was annoying myself last night because this darn on microphone picks up on everything, right? And I was like, "Why are you making so much noise with your mouth?" It was like moment after moment after moment. It was just so loud. I was like, I don't want to talk anymore. I'm gonna throw away the key.
Yeah. Why say put money on it when you don't have it and crash out when they call you out for it?
He does have the money.
So you're assuming that A, I don't have the money, or do you mean the information? I'll tell you what, I'll make it really easy for you, Eaton. Because I can't stand you crybabies. You had no energy up until that guy came up, and now you got a little battery in your back because you guys really love sucking off other Trump-supporting men. You can call in. You can call in, and you can take the bet if you're not a bitch. How about that? Anyone who's not a bitch is more than welcome to call in at this point and take that bet. Stand on what you believe. Put your money on what you believe. I'm willing to put money on every fucking thing I believe. Everything. That can be proven with empirical data. Personal opinions is separate. Shripa, got a question for me?
Hi, I just wanted to stop by for a quick second just say thank you for everything it is that you do. I don't want to waste your time, but I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I do my best. It goes towards my therapy. Guys, friendly reminder, I had hair before I started debating Trump supporters. I had hair before I started debating Trump supporters. Mm-hmm.
Don't let him lie to you all.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't provide a picture, it didn't happen.
Oh, bet y'all. Yeah, I don't know why y'all keep playing with me. It's literally in my videos. You will see in my older videos. There's 2 videos on my profile that show my hairline. 2 of them. Granted, I still do grow hair, guys. I just choose to cut it bald because I'm not going to be out here looking like Vegeta. Vegeta with a spot in the back. That's the crazy part. Okay, so let's see if it loads. Let's go by oldest and work our way up. Hey, Andrew, make the bet. Andrew, make the bet. Find out how broke I am. You win. You'll find out if I pay you or not. You lose. I guess you're about to make a brokey rich. Call in and find out. Anyway, let's see. This is showing my little oldest. It's not showing. Which one? Here we go. See? Here's this one. I have my hair. But even here, you can see that, I obviously have to trim it a certain way. But your boy grew his hair. I did my bald fades. Okay? I did my bald fades here. And then I have another one. It's a live clip. I think it's the one I did of a J6er. Let me see if I can find it. I'm yelling at someone on the YouTube side in the chat. That's what I'm yelling at. It's not letting me load anymore. Anyway, there's 2 videos. You just saw one on my profile that will show you that I had hair. And then as time progressed and I continued to do this, especially full time, now I'm the smoothest dome on TikTok. So if you'd like to support the Turkey Hair Restoration Fund, links in the bio. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Hector Talks with 2 R's or PayPal. Hector Pal with 2 O's and 2 R's. If you're from the tube side, you may send a super chat or a super sticker. Do you guys think we can get up to 300K in the next couple minutes? If not, I'm gonna end it here because I don't think we can get any more calls, any more genuine calls at that. And we're right at the 3-hour mark. Y'all let me know. Tell you what, let's do this. You guys have 3 minutes to get the likes up to 265K. If by 8:17 the likes are up to 265K, we'll go until we hit 300K likes. And I'll know if you guys were playing with my emotions. No MAGA hunting tonight. We do need to do that soon. It's just a lot on my computer now.
I did it yesterday on YouTube.
God bless you.
How did that go?
I did one, and there was some other panels I could have joined, but I just didn't want to because those people are aware of me, and I don't feel like going through the whole being muted the whole time. So, but the one I did join, some Israeli propagandist ended up joining the panel, and I called them out on his BS, and I kept telling him, provide me some evidence between 2016 and 2018 that Iran was outside of guidelines, so they weren't adhering to the JCPOA. And he started talking about 2010. And I was like, why are we talking about 2010? This is stupid. Whatever. And so they dropped me.
I hate it here.
But they dropped me because when he came onto the panel, the lady was like, oh, here's our expert. Here's Ariel. And started talking about him and stuff, hyping him up. And I'm like, why do they always do that? At least when we hype someone up, they actually come through.
That part. That fucking part.
I'm always like, is this your king? Is this your king?
There you go, YouTube. I just sent one of the videos in the chat over there. I need to get with Ari. I think Ari has everything set up through OBS. So everything she's showing and shit shows up on one screen. I gotta figure that shit out. That will make it a lot easier.
Yeah, the stream key for studio.
Stream key? I have a stream key.
Bet.
Call from.
Caller, you're on the line. Got a question for me? Oh, you're about there? Are you about at climax? What do you need me to, what do you need me to say to get you to finish, bro? What do you need me to say? Trying to help you out. What do you need me to say? What do you like to hear? Do you like to hear you're a good boy? Daddy's best cuck? Like what do you like to hear to get it off, to get it going? I may be feeling generous tonight. I may say it, if it's within reasonable. If it's within reason. If it's call me a dirty nigger, I can't help you out. So what do you need to get this done?
Hector.
I know. Well, I tried to help, man. Do a backflip off a balcony. Bum, 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 bum. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm crude.
Hector, I'm about to send you the hat I just created. It's fucking awesome.
You got a new hat?
Well, I don't have it on, but I'm creating it right now.
We sneak peeking the people? Are we going to give the people a sneak peek?
I'm just going to show you.
Okay, fair enough. I'm sorry, y'all. If you're gonna call in and do that shit, I'm gonna make fun of you. I'm just gonna have fun with it. That's the best we can do with these weirdos. Look at that. We are over 260. We're about at 300K. I talk too fast sometimes. Double tap that screen, y'all. Double tap that screen.
Wrong person. Ah, shit. I sent the hat to the wrong person. Damn it.
I am not. My hair is diabolical.
You weren't supposed to see it.
Okay,
there we go.
Oh, I like the camo. I don't even.
Why you giving it away, bro?
It's just it's a scheme. It's a scheme.
Don't give it away.
Do you have like that scheme in Do All the Good Things shirts?
That would be super cool. You want the good in camo?
Yeah.
I can do that.
Do that
I
in
have
camo.
a thingy. I can do that. I think I can do that.
This is the same person. Should we answer?
Call from.
Did you finish? Did you call back for me to help out? Your chance is gone, bro. You should have answered the first time. Now I'm not feeling gracious. You're going to have to go open up bigdsoreblack.com or some shit. Figure that out. I don't know why I'm like this. Let's knock out the dolphins, guys. We need about 38 more of those. Let's knock that out before we end the stream in about 8,000 likes. If you're not following me, hit that follow button in the top left corner. We are live every Saturday after 3 p.m. CST and randomly throughout the week. Share out the live with your friends and family. Shut the fuck up, Bill. Share out the live with your don't actually, why am I telling y'all to share it? We're about to end.
Bill, please do.
Send your daily heartbeats. Obviously, it's super important that you guys do that weekly. That also supports the stream, and you get a couple cool stickers when you do. And of course, there's always the links in the bio for the best way to support the platform. Guys, we do have a new line of merch out. And we named it the Hector Essentials. I put a couple things on there, including the 6,000% line. So we have the 6,000% line on there. We also have the New Testament Democrat line up there, which I actually need to make a video to kind of explain that.
God bless you.
And talk about it. It's going to be followed up with a live. But I'm waiting on the sample to come in. And then we'll talk about it there. And then what's the other thing I put on there? I don't remember what the other thing was. Kevin got a question for me?
Yes.
How old are you, Kevin?
I'm 15.
I'm about to ask Kevin, what kind of flavored milk does he like?
I'm gonna block. And you're blocked. What was I saying?
You gotta show me how to block people because I don't know how to do it.
Oh, that's easy. Hold on. Send you a screenshot. It took me a while to figure it out. It's not fucking easy. It's not fucking easy. It's not super clear. But I figured it out. I still have to figure out what I'm getting for dinner, y'all. Shit, it's about to be 8:30. What should I get for dinner, y'all? You have 6,000% merch too? I thought I mentioned that one. I'll fucking show him. I'll show him in a second. Okay, Eric, are you looking at your thing or do you have to tab out?
I'm at the PC, so
okay.
I see.
So when you click on the call and it opens up the specific details of the call, that three-dot tab in the right corner there, when you open that, that's where the block option shows up.
Oh, okay.
If it's unknown or anything else, then it won't allow you to, unfortunately. But yeah, for regular numbers, that's how you do it. There you go.
Let's see. Thank you.
No problem. WCU guys.
Oh, that's how you do it. Okay. Got it.
Not Dan going live. Short stream 424-26. We'll raid Dan.
Go raid Dan.
We'll
I
raid
have to
Dan.
go get ready for mine, though. I'll be going live in about... I got to do the freaking YouTube schedule thing.
Oh, we have some answers here. Tacos. I don't know if I want to experiment with tacos around here. In Austin, I have my taco spots. I'm not feeling experimental tonight. Maybe I will. I don't know.
I really want oxtails.
Oh, oxtails would hit.
But I don't want to drive.
There's no... Guys, sometimes I wonder why I'm in some of the moods that I'm in, and I've realized it's because I live in the location that I live. Like, legitimately...
Are you hungry?
And this air sometimes make me depressed. For example, the car situation that I just went through. Those of you who didn't know. I dropped my car off at a fucking shop, okay? Not just a new rundown shop. It was a goddamn Ford dealership. I dropped my car off here. I say, I need an oil change. I need my tires rotated. I need an alignment. And then I need an inspection done on this particular issue that I'm having. I have a hybrid car. There's an electric engine and regular one. When the regular one starts up, it's just kind of aggressive. I said, I need you to figure out what the fuck's wrong there. They say, okay. They said, we're going to have this figured out in 1 to 2 days max. 1 to 2 days max. He said max. Okay? That was on a Wednesday. It was Wednesday last week. Friday comes, about end of day. I don't hear anything back for them. So I call because you told me 1 to 2 days max. I plan shit around 1 to 2 days max. Not that I go anywhere. But I called them and it's like, oh, hey, yeah, so we haven't figured that out yet. I said, okay. I was told 1 to 2 days max. All right, well, yeah, we're going to look at it, give you more time. Okay, cool. They're open Saturdays. So I'm like, okay, I'll get an answer back Saturday. Saturday, nothing. Sunday, they're closed. Monday, definitely thinking I'm going to hear something back on Monday, right? Nope. So then Tuesday comes. Tuesday, I was hot beforehand, but I'm really fucking mad. I call them, hey, what's going on with my car? Oh yeah, we have a note here that shows that we're gonna do a final test drive. We haven't figured out what that issue is. There's nothing wrong. I said, I know something's wrong because I know the issue. I know how it sounded when I got it. I know how it sounds now. Well, we looked for it. We couldn't find anything. Okay. When am I gonna be able to pick up my car? We'll call you back when it's ready. Should be ready by the end of the day. No problem. They close at 6. 5:30 comes. Heard nothing from them. So I just get the Uber and I go up there. I show up. Bunch of people in the front. Sitting, laughing, kikiing, kakai. And I'm like, oh, okay. Y'all ain't got no fucking energy to call people and do your shit. But you got energy to sit up here and fuck around. I say, hey, what's going on with my car? Oh, it's ready. Cool, interesting. And the guy goes, did we call you and tell you that it was ready? And I have to hold my fucking tongue. I was like, no, that's literally why I'm here, because I got no call, even though I was told I was supposed to be called when it's ready. It's like, oh, okay. The mechanic comes up, tries to give me some bullshit on every test that they did to not find the basic issue that's there. I already know when I get in my car, the same issue is going to be there. So they just didn't look for it. I said, literally, when it's in idle, it does this when it starts up. We don't know what you're talking about. Okay. I get to the counter, the bill, $100 and change. I immediately go, an oil change, tire balancing, and alignment would be more than that. The only thing they did to my car was the oil change. For 6 days, they had my shit. Did one of the 3 things I asked them to do, or I guess technically one of the 4 things I asked them to do properly, for nothing. So, I put on my best Karen. I got to my keyboard and I typed this little review. And I would never taking my car back to that dealership again. And I'm not one of those people that thinks, oh, never take your car to the dealership. I disagree with that. I think dealerships give certain guarantees that other shops may not. I don't have a problem taking my car to other shops, but that's dependent on the recommendations that I get. Like if I know someone who's like very familiar with that place in the shop and they have really good recommendations and stuff, I'll take it there. But typically I am a dealership guy. You just get more guarantees if you take it to the right dealership. The problem is, and I'm going to 6,000% put it on this, the location that I'm in. It's not Austin, okay? It's not as fucking amazing as Austin. They have lower standards than Austin. It's just not as bougie, okay? It's not as bougie as Austin. And I'm a bougie Negro. I am a bougie Negro. Hell, and the all the 4 dealerships in Austin, you know what they also do with your car? They give you like the little multi-point inspection, 125, 150 point multi-point inspection. Imagine having my car for 6 days, not doing all the things I asked you to do. I didn't even get that. So I have to go take it somewhere else to get an actual inspection so I can see what's going on, because they didn't even give me that. I don't know if my cabin filter needs changing. None of that. Like legitimately, fuck that place. Fuck that place. I'm not, see, I separate Gucci. I separate Corinth from that. Not me saying the area. I separate them from there. 2 different places, in my opinion. 2 fucking different places. No different from when you're in Austin and you get to anywhere 30 minutes outside the region. That's not Austin to me. I know it's technically the Austin region, but it's not Austin for me. What was the name of it? It was, whatchamacallit, Bill or Jeff something Ford. I'll pull it up. Anyway, if you're not in the region, you don't have to care. Anyway, wait, why the fuck do we need 17 more of these? I'm going to pin this. Let's knock out these Dolphins. No, Shauna. Let's knock out these Dolphins, and then we'll go. And then we will go. Thank you so much, Jen. I appreciate you.
God bless you.
Bill Monday? No, it wasn't Bill Monday. I have a fusion. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Jen. With that being said, let's go ahead and raid Dan if he's live on the tube.
He is. He's calling it a short live, but I guarantee you he's gonna be on till like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. I don't know why the fuck you guys literally wait until I say I'm ending and I'm about to raid someone to get in the request. You can come back at a later date. Unfortunately for you, the later date will be when I'm going scorched earth on Trump supporters. This humble, nice, kind shit has been cool and all, but not only has it fucked with my algo, but you motherfuckers love contention, so I'll give it to you. Tomorrow we'll be resuming the regular lives. To those of you on the tube side, I just set the redirect over to Dan's live, so you'll be taken there automatically. It's not showing him live on there. It's showing it scheduled. So I'm not sure if he's having issues or if he hasn't started on that end. Regardless, go wherever the fuck you want to go, YouTube. Appreciate every last one of you for being here. Thank you guys so much for the likes, the shares, the comments, the subscriptions, the super chats, and super stickers. I will see you guys tomorrow after 3 p.m. CST for that live, and enjoy the rest of your night. Shout out to some of the hardest working morons on the platform. I see a few of you here. Taro, Wizard, I know I saw Ruth earlier.